athletes, elite runners, people like Carrie and Olympians, and it all comes down to right here, another 5,000 meter. This is the last race of the year in high school cross country. So this is where it ends.
It's a good one. And Carrie, they're all dominant. They've had dominant careers up to this point. They've beat a lot of people around them. And now they're here wondering how they fit into this sort of higher level of racing. What's that like?
Yeah, we heard from a lot of the elites yesterday where they were talking about that, having these groups of people around you when you're used to maybe running a lot of races on your own in your own states. And so it's really fun because it gives you that opportunity to feel like what it's going to be at college or as a professional runner. And a lot of these athletes have aspiration of going on and doing great things at the collegiate and professional level. So, yeah, today's going to be an eye-opener for a lot of the athletes. But, the regional meets, they do see extra bodies. They hear people breathing, which is a really strange thing when you win, which a lot of these athletes do time and time again.
Well, you mentioned where they are headed because we have the names to prove it. Names like Meb, Ryan Hall, Kara Goucher, and the list goes on from the people who made their mark in high school and made their mark in this race, and we've cheered them on in the red, white, and blue.
Well, I love one of those stats that you always give. How many medalists have we had from this race?
So we've got 90 Olympians that have run in this program before, and then since the year 2000, Americans have won 11 Olympic medals. The one thing that 10 of those 11 have in common is they towed the line at a Foot Locker or Champs or our East Bay event. So, and you were talking about those great names, but even up to current. So Grant Fisher was the hot American this last track season. New American record at 3,000, 5,000, 10,000. Emily Sisson just broke the American record in the marathon. They ran right here. Grant Fisher was a two-time champ here, and Emily Sisson made it here 4 times. So it's the past was great. The future is great, and right now this group is great, so it's exciting.
Oh, well, I mean, it is kind of a family atmosphere, and we've talked about that before, and within the Foot Locker family, we've obviously had different names and sponsors for this race, but this year we are so excited for the 43rd running of the Champs Sports Cross-Country National Championships. We have a lot to get to before the 2 races because we're going to have some introductions to some of the athletes. And Carrie, you're going to be talking to some folks down on the field as well.
I am definitely going to talk to some of our folks on the field. I love that, getting that last little piece of advice from the elite athletes that are here with New Balance and our Foot Locker alum.
So we talked about how did they get here. I think we're ready to watch a video of our 4 regions.
Hey, it's yours! It's yours, Becky! Let's go! And Ruben Reyna will win this, the 7th Kinney Cross Country National Championship. And he is well under the course record.
Second place
as a freshman and third as a sophomore. Didn't qualify last year. Heading for redemption in 2000.
Loved seeing that, the past blending into the present. We've got the names of some of those big-time runners, and we're going to see some big-time runners today, but only two will walk away as the 43rd Annual Champ Sports Cross Country National Champions themselves. We've talked sort of in general about what these athletes are doing as they arriving. We're about, let's check, just under an hour until the girls' race kicks off.
Yeah, you say we'll have two, but as we've been talking to the kids the last couple of days, it's not. I'm not trying to say it's like a participation award. It's not. They had to earn their spot here, so they're one of the 10 best in the country or in their region in the last couple of weeks. So these 40 have been exceptional this year, and they were exceptional when it mattered, and so they're going to get a chance to do that. I was listening when you were talking a minute ago about, we have so many. There are some here that are here to try to win. They know who they are, and the other kids know it. There are some that are just, I'm going to try to hang on for dear life. They won't say that, but that's what they're going to do. Carrie's absolutely right. These kids all year, the gun goes off, they go right to the front. Not only to the front, they just leave everybody behind. I can't imagine there were more than a couple races where there was somebody with them at a mile to go. And then all of a sudden, they're going to be running the first half mile faster than they've ever run in their life. And they're going to find out there's kids ahead of them. There are kids on each side of them.
Yeah.
They're breathing all around them.
Well, let's get specific, and we're going to start with the Northeast girls. And when you talk about the Northeast girls, Carrie, there is one name that we should probably mention out of the gates being Ellie Shea.
Yeah, Ellie Shea was here last year. Didn't have the race that she wanted, but she's coming back, and she's having a phenomenal year. She's only raced one cross-country race this year, so she hasn't raced a ton, but she just raced last weekend in a very fast, or a couple weekends ago, in a very fast indoor race, and she's on fire, and she wants revenge.
She ran 9:10 for 3,000 meters with a group of essentially professional runners. So 9:10 for a high school kid, because high school kids always think about 3,200 meters or 2 miles. That's about a 9:48 2 mile. That's getting to be national record kind of. So she is sharp and ready to go.
Yeah, we're actually seeing some of the footage when Ellie won the Northeast Regionals there. Some other names out of this region that we should pay attention to.
Well, right behind her, Carrie Beloga. A lot of people picking her to be a potential winner, if certainly not in the top 5. So there's a big race in the East Coast, the Manhattan Invitational, the Eastern States race, and she won that race. And that's kind of like the race on the East Coast to say who's the number one. So she has been number one. I think Miles Split had her at number one at the end of the regular season. She's got the experience. She's been here 3 times already. She knows the course. She's got great speed. She's a steeplechaser, a really high-level steeplechaser, and so that indicates great strength. So she's certainly one to watch.
Well, I wonder if with the steeplechasing, if she's been able to bend the ear of one of our favorite steeplechasers here as well.
Yeah, Emma Coburn is here. I mean, obviously, when you have an Olympic medalist and a world champion, you want to be talking to her, rubbing shoulders with her. And so, yep, it's been fun for her. But another athlete out of the Northeast, Zariel Makia, I can just see her right now running with one of her brothers. She's one of 6, and her dad, and they're out there. She's smiling all the time, but she's serious. You know, she's excited to be here, and she's light, but she also knows what this race means, and she's having a phenomenal year as well.
Yeah, I think she's one of those we talked about last year, freshman year, just happy to be here.
Yep.
You know, now I think she's thinking, no, I'm one of these elites. You know, so hey, Beloga, you mentioned Emma Coburn, so Colorado, that's where Beloga's going. So, yeah.
Well, we have the Northeast boys as well. The boys race obviously is going to be the second one that we're going to have today. But let's talk about some of the guys in this region, Tim and Carrie, because there are a few that, well, they've all obviously been elite in their own right, but there's a few that you'd like to pay particular attention to, if you will.
So the boys Northeast is interesting because there's some very talented boys, but there's been some changes. State meet races, and then those runners have come back in the regional and run better, and some not as good, and then come back. So they have certainly the boys that could win it, but they're also a group of boys that you'd have to look at and go, maybe it'll be one of those kids. You know, we always say it's going to be the regional winner. That's always seems to be it. But there's some boys in there, 5th, 6th, 7th, that could really get up in there. But, you know, Drew Griffith had a great finish in the region, kicked like crazy, looked great coming in. So I think, Carrie, you like him. You think he's got the confidence, and he looks like a finisher. So
yeah, I do like him, and we're going to get way into this. But, you know, he's rested. He did not race last weekend, so I think that's a big thing we have to remember. A lot of these athletes have been racing a ton. So obviously we have confidence that they can fly all over and do things like that. But it's interesting to see if that one weekend off really helps someone like Drew Griffith.
Yeah, we're seeing some of the highlights now on the screen of that Northeast boys regional race.
Yeah, Drew with a big finish. You know, didn't have the state meet probably that he wanted, but certainly had the regional that he wanted.
Yep.
And I think Carrie's right. You know, we've been talking a lot. There's a lot of big races now at the end of the year for kids to run in, and some choose to race. You know, we got some kids that have raced all the way from Alabama to Portland to Texas to everywhere in between. And then others have chosen, I just want one race, and I want to get ready for the big final. And so it's an interesting philosophy. Sometimes that works, and sometimes, you know, looks like, Natalie Cook last year. She was racing all over and just dominating everywhere. So, you know, both strategies work sometimes.
Exactly.
And I will say, I mean, that could be San Diego right there aside from the trees. Look at the beautiful weather for that race, and we have beautiful weather here for this one as well. Hey, Tim, you mentioned it talking about the regional winners and the likelihood of them walking off with the championship today.
So, yeah, you know, we've had 42 previous races. We're in our 43rd year. And on the boys' side, it almost always is a regional winner. In fact, so we've had 35 of those 42 years, the regional winner on the boys' side has won the race. And the girls, it's almost the same. That's the number one kid. They maybe come in with confidence. They certainly come in with the talent. On the boys' side, it's usually a senior. It's almost 86% a senior. And then the last factor is if you've been here before. So those seem to be the 3 biggest keys. If you've been here before, senior boys, and a regional winner. With the girls, because we get so many freshmen, sophomore, junior girls come in, a little different, but regional winners always seem to be the key factor coming in. So we'll be watching for those bibs. When you see the bib, if there's a 1 after the name, 21, 31, 41, that's a regional winner, and that's somebody to keep an eye on.
I think there's something about winning your region as well. You're leading your team. So, I mean, a lot of times they want that first spot again on the team and all of that.
So let's hear from our Northeast boys.
I'm just happy to be here, just to see it, experience it, and obviously excited for the meet and everything that comes with it. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a feeling of that just because it's such a prestigious meet. I like circled it on my calendar for a while, and I made sure to bring my best for the regional meet. But I think since I like performed pretty well at the regional meet and got third, and feel like probably could have been in contention for the win, I feel like it's like job's not finished, so it's like awesome, and I'm super excited to be here and do everything that comes with it. But also, there's a race on Saturday that I have to focus for. I mean, I'd be really happy with top 15. I'd be first, second, or third team All-American, and it would just be cool to be kind of in the top half because I'm a junior. I'm coming back next year, so just to show that I'm here this year and get a really good year of training under my belt, and then next year try to win. I'd probably say I'm like more of a downhill guy. Like I usually try to sit and maintain distance on ups, and then try to make moves on the downhill and catch people and do stuff like that. So probably just more of a downhill runner, and outside the downhills, I'll probably just bide my time and try to run smart.
I had a lot of good mentors, good coach, good people around me. So I think that definitely helped me a lot. Yeah, just getting out there and getting to race some really good competition and just having a lot of fun. I mean, that's all it's really about. So just go out there and do your best and have some fun.
Yeah, I mean, I just try and remind myself, like, I'm just running 5K as fast as I can, like, not really trying to get too worked up over it. I enjoy it. I mean, it sounds kind of cliche, but like it's just nice to like get out, and like it helps me clear my mind. It's good for you, and I just love to compete. Most of it's probably like mindset. I feel like last year I just didn't really like put myself in the best position to be as competitive as I could have been. So I'd just try and get up there this year.
Back live here in sunny San Diego, Morley Field, as we count down to the start of the girls' race. Let's turn our attention to the South. We have 6 different states represented here in the girls' race. Who are some of the names that pop out?
Well, on the south side, we look at Kira O'Shea. So 5-time state champion in Kentucky, won it as an 8th grader. She's been running extremely well. She's a returner. Carrie, you really like her, don't you?
I do like her. She's been good for so long, and she knows how to win. She knows how to run fast. Just seems like she's excited to be back and just really wants to capitalize on her senior year.
Yeah, Isabel Conde de Frankenberg, though, from Texas, got great speed. She's the Texas state record holder at the miles run, 4:38 for a mile. So, they've got some speed there. So the South has done very well the last couple of years, especially now that we've got some good kids from Texas really starting to run well. So it'll be exciting.
Oh, look how fast they are out of the gates at that regional there in the South. Hey, Tim, you said something just a moment ago. You said that Kira's a 5-time state champ. So how does that work, and has anyone else ever done that?
Well, let's see. Corey McGee is here. Now, Corey McGee grew up in Mississippi, so you could run in 8th grade in Mississippi and do that. So she's a 5-time champ. And then there's a third one, young girl out of Minnesota, and it was a few years ago. I believe her name was Tollison or something like that. Carrie Tollison? Yeah,
Yep.
I believe so. We could ask her, how does someone become a 5-time
Carrie,
state
that's
champ?
Incredible. I just learned this fact myself.
So in Minnesota, like Kentucky and Mississippi, I guess you can run when you're in the 7th grade. So, those 2 other ladies I think we're the only 3 in the States that have ever done that. So it's pretty cool. It's kind of like every generation. I'm the oldest. Then it was Corey McGee, and now we have Kira O'Shea. So it's awesome.
Let's hear from some of our Southern girls.
I think I'm most excited just like for the competition, just having so many top runners from all over that I don't usually get to race out here. But I think it's a tough course. I think that's what cross country is about. I don't think it's the flat, fast courses. It's the hills and the turns and the terrain. So I'm excited to hit a hard course like that out here. Last year was not the greatest race for me. I kind of just got caught up in it. It was the first time I'd ever been to a national championship, so it was just I went out like I normally would and went to the front because that's where I was used to being, and then just was not ready to compete at that level and really paid for it the second lap. So just kind of knowing a lot more now, having more experience at the national level to sort of contribute into this race. I like to push from the start. I don't think I'm the greatest kicker, so I try not to leave it to that if it comes to that. So I like to just kind of go out hard and hang on as long as I can.
It's worked out so far for her, hasn't it? On the boys' side, we have some names that you're going to want to sort of circle in that race as well.
So Rocky Hansen, regional winner, undefeated this year. So going in, no one has been able to beat it. And he's got great speed. He's run four flat for 4 flat 79 for the mile. So certainly, and he's run the fastest 5K in the country, 14:20. So you keep hearing Rocky Hansen and Hunter Jones. Everybody keeps talking. That may be our two favorites, but we've seen before favorites don't always win. But boy, they certainly there's a reason why, and Rocky certainly is one of the reasons. One of the guys that we're going to be watching.
And he was here last year, and he said too he did not have the race he wanted, and he's been thinking about this race since last year. And you know that he's just ready for that gun to go off.
And right behind him,
Nathan Etchu, I think he's a guy that we have to keep our eye on. You know, he's a sub-9 2-mile guy. That's a big stat in the world of running, and he wants to run much faster. But when you're down in that kind of company, you know, you just smell the finish line and you smell the win. And so I think that he's one we need to keep our eye on.
He certainly got the credentials. Sub-9 minute 2-miler is is a 4:11 miler. Yeah, off to Tennessee next year. University of Tennessee, Sean Carlson, the great coach that used to pretty much steal every kid from Foot Locker to Notre Dame, has moved on to Tennessee. And so now we'll see if that pipeline continues now on to Tennessee.
Well, we were able to catch up with some of our South guys, and here's what they had to say.
I've watched about the last 10 race videos 5 times, and then I've seen all the ones on YouTube throughout the years. And I just think about the hill because I have a lot of hills in Virginia, so just think to use that to my advantage. Freshman year, I started at about 35, 40 miles a week, and I was running races faster than I should have based on training, and that caused injuries. So then I got in the weight room, and then I could go up to 50 miles a week, and now I can do 65 pretty consistently. So just building mileage and staying consistent with it.
So one of my favorite parts of this presentation every single year is talking about what's going through the kids' heads ahead of time. And we're talking about superstitions. Carrie, did you have any?
I had so many. I mean, I had favorite sock, favorite barrette. Like, I just saw one of the athletes having her mom braid her hair. And, you know, I mean, all of those things, they seem silly at times, but they also really get you into race mode. So it's important, I think.
Tim, what's the weirdest superstition you had an athlete do?
Oh my gosh! So we were talking to one kid last week. It's the socks, but it was the socks, and I haven't washed them since the first race of the year. And I thought, okay, well maybe that's why you get out front. Nobody wants to come by you.
Yeah.
So boys, you know, they're a little different than the girls. They're different.
Let's hear from some of our superstitious athletes that are here today.
My name is Kira O'Shea. I'm from the South region. My race superstition is to always race in my pearls. So they're 5 years and going strong. And then I prefer training on the hills over the flats.
Hi, I'm Alyssa Sorrow. My race superstition is my mom gives me a verse and I stick it in my shoe. I'm from the South region. And I forget the last question. I'm sorry.
Hi, I'm Olivia Murray. I'm from the Northeast. My race superstition is I always wear a white sports bra and white socks, and I have berg bites exactly 2 hours before I run. And I like the hills.
I'm Aiden Granados, and I'm from the South region. And my superstition is I have to eat a banana for a race. And honestly, I would choose track over cross country any day.
My name's Cole Mathieson, and I'm from the Midwest region. And I would say my pre-race superstition is putting on a right arm sleeve, only on the right arm. It kind of started my freshman year, and I had my best race of the season that year, and so kind of started that tradition, and every race since worn that one right arm sleeve. And then, you know, I'd probably pick cross country over track in the cross country season, track over cross country in track season. It just kind of ebbs and flows. I think whatever season I'm in, that's my favorite one.
Hi, I'm Mary Bonner Dalton. I'm from the South. My race superstition is I wear the same socks in 7th grade to race in. And I prefer cross country because it's more of a team sport, and I feel like it's more interesting to see the different courses.
My name is Allie Zealand from the South region. I don't have any superstitions, and I prefer cross country over track.
Hi, I'm Braden Marshall from the South region. My race superstition is that looking back is bad luck, and I prefer cross country.
Hi, my name's Trey Caldwell from the West Region. My race superstition is I have to take an ice bath on Wednesdays before every race, and I'm a cross-country kind of guy.
Hi, my name is Maxwell Harden. I'm from Auburn, Alabama. My pre-race superstition is that I got to eat a Klondike bar the night before the race, and I prefer cross-country over track.
Hi, I'm Katie Kopek. I'm from the West Region. One of my race superstitions is that I wear the same sports bra every time I race, and I prefer track over cross country.
Love it. All right, 2 regions down, 2 to go. Let's head straight to the Midwest and talk about the girls. But instead of starting off by talking about someone who we will see, unfortunately, let's talk about who we won't see.
Yeah, Tatum David was our regional winner. Got ill this week, isn't able to fly, isn't able to be here today. And Nikki Sutherland, same thing. You know, everybody's been dealing with illnesses, the flu, and all the rest as we've gone through the year. So, unfortunately, for the Midwest, those 2 girls will not be racing today.
Room for somebody to step up, though.
The Midwest, they just, you know, it's like the Padres, you know, they just keep getting guys and getting guys. The Midwest just keeps bringing people in.
Says the bitter Dodgers fan.
Oh, you digress. Let's move back to cross country. The Midwest is just, oh, man, those girls are so strong. But they've got a few girls. Sophie Kennedy, certainly another one of your favorites.
Yeah, I like Sophia. I think that she is so good, and she's excited to be back. You know, she was 7th here last year, so she's one of our top returners, and you know she loves this course. She said she loves the ups and the downs, and so I think she's one we're going to watch.
Yeah, exciting with Sophie Kennedy is, you know, her dad was the winner here in 1987. We got a lot of kids this year whose parents, Kiara Daly, the freshman girl from Loyola, both her parents ran in this race. So we've got a lot of parents whose kids are coming back around. But I don't think we've ever had a champion come back around. That'd be great. Wouldn't that be the
So you're saying genes matter?
Yeah, boy, they sure do. I have a friend always says, if you want to be better as a runner next time, choose better parents. So
let's hear from our Midwest girls.
It was in a weird, like, it's only 40 people here, yeah, and like that kind of messed with my brain a little bit. I was like, everybody here is so fast, like, but now I'm like, I finally realized like I deserve to be here as much as I did last year, and I think I didn't recognize that as much, but yeah, it's confidence. A lot of people think that to get good at this sport, it is, you know, 100% dialed in, and I don't think that's true. I think it's more of just like having fun with it and consistency. So, did you have the ones with the flames on them?
No.
I want a pair of those. So if anybody out there has a pair of women's size 7 Zoom Kennedys with the flames, hit me up.
Oh, I think
So on the guys' side in the Midwest, you got to start with Hunter Jones, one of a handful of the guys who are back.
Yeah, he's got all the credentials. He's a great cross-country runner, great speed on the track. He's a 152 half-miler and all the way up to outstanding 5,000 meters. You know, a regional winner, a returner, a senior. Again, I think you hear a lot of people thinking, you know, he's certainly one of the pre-race favorites.
Mm-hmm. Won by 10 seconds in his region, so you definitely have to look at him. But Cole Matheson, he is back. He was our top returner from last year, and there's a lot of rumblings about him, too. I think people think he's ready to roll.
You know, the Midwest boys are just loaded. This is a great group of boys. This is almost an all-star team of boys from the Midwest.
Oh, I love it, and we talked to them as well.
I mean, I run to win. That's it. I mean, people say, "Oh yeah, like I like to run." I mean, it's fun to win. Like that's why I do it. You know, if I don't win, I'm pretty upset. So I'm confident that I have what it takes, and I'm gonna do everything possible so I can do that. And yeah, Galen Rupp, he's probably my biggest inspiration in running. Actually, like I look up to him a lot, more than any other runner. Actually, like I watched him when I was really little, you know, breaking American records and stuff. So yeah.
I've always performed better under heavy competition, just being able to being able to be challenged by everyone else in the field, and you know, have them push the pace and you kind of hang on. But you know, I'm not just looking to hang on this time. So it's my last cross country race in high school ever. So and you know, coming here has been a goal for a long time. And you know, last weekend was super fun. This weekend I was, you know, expecting it to be really fun as well. I've just, heard people that have been here before and, they love it. So I'm ready to throw down, have a great last race, hopefully. So, yeah, I'm pumped.
I love that. There's a lot of sports where you don't know when it's going to be your last. In this case, there are so many athletes who say, this is it. This has been circled on the calendar, and it's here.
It is. It is the last high school cross-country race of the year. And so it is the peak that everybody wanted to get to.
Our final region is the West, and as we start with the girls, can't help but notice this is a group that has some big underclassmen in it.
They do. It starts with Sadie Englehart. It seems like she should be a junior or senior with all that she's accomplished in her
Maybe
running
even college.
career already. Yes, but she's just a sophomore. She won the California State Meet. There's 5 divisions in California. She ran the fastest of all the 5 divisional winners. And then at Mount Sac at the regional last week, she just cruised and looked really good. She was a little bit ill in the middle of the year. She's healthy now. She's been getting healthier and healthier. And, like we said, it seems like she's been around already for 3 or 4 years. She ran 2:05 last year on the track. Outstanding time for 800, 4:33 for 600, and 9:50. That's incredible breadth and depth across and is as equal in cross country. So she's certainly the best out of the West right now.
And then we have a couple of names who are going to have some fans.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe a few more fans here because they're local girls.
Yeah, Kira Daly. It's so fun to see her out here. Kira Daly's mom and dad both ran here, and you see all the yellow shirts out there cheering for her. So she's one local, and she's the youngest in the field today. She's a 9th grader.
Yeah, she had to drive about 10 minutes to get to the hotel. She's from La Jolla, and then Johanna Lapizzo from La Costa Canyon has had just an incredible year and has been running well. Both those girls run on this course all the time. Both those girls haven't been beaten on this course this year.
Let's hear from some of our West girls.
No, my parents have kind of held me back the whole time because they didn't want me to get burned out. So they just let me go this season. So, yeah, I haven't really been running before. I've been doing soccer. They were both runners. They both ran here at Foot Locker for 2 years, which was really cool to be able to just experience the same thing as them. Yeah, so I run it 3 times now. So it's definitely an advantage to know all the turns and stuff. So, yeah, I've won every time. I don't know if I can keep that streak, but yeah, it's cool to have run there a lot. It's definitely going to be harder mentally because the second time around you think you're going through, you still have so much to go, but the truth is, once you get up to the top of the hill, you only have, I don't know, not that much, 2 minutes or something to run. So you just have to, not attack the hill, but take it easy up the hill and then go down the downhill, and then I feel like I've been practicing on that hill and, really speeding, trying to go fast down it.
Oh, it's so fun, and we are getting closer and closer as we're seeing more and more of the runners get a little more sort of focused in at this point with what they're doing in their pre-race routines. Let's switch over to the guys' side in the West.
So the West is a different group. So in that region, with about a mile to go, there were still 12 boys all in a group, basically. And then Samuel Hansen separated himself, and over the last, they had a timing mat with about 1,200 meters to go. He ran the fastest last 1,200 meters by about 8 seconds and just dominated all of a sudden. Best win of maybe his life, certainly of the year. And then Milos Kopinski of San Luis Obispo unleashed this incredible kick, and in the last 800 went from 9th place to 2nd place. So certainly you cannot say there are not the guys from the West don't have a lot of heart. So we'll see how that plays out with them.
I think I like that. Samuel Hansen said he's kind of a guy that sits in the back and really starts to crank it up with a mile to go. So we have all these athletes that some think they need to lead and push, and others want to sit and kick or really have a long drive. So that's what cross country is all about. It's this mismatch of all these different things and different athletes. It's really cool.
So much more strategy than people think, right?
Definitely.
So we're showing our regional. So that was Sam. Like we said, he pulled away. But watch this. Here they come. It's like somebody let open the gate, and then they go 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, all right there.
Well, we caught up with them as well. And, you see that all the time in the video there of them at the finish line. It's just giving it everything they have. There are some of the guys that are live getting ready for their race as well. Let's hear from our West boys.
I haven't really been to anything like this before.
So it's pretty cool to see all these athletes from all over the country, and it should be really fun to race on Saturday. I mean, it kind of depends on the race, but I really like to really push from the front, depending on who the competition is. I really like to compete and leave it all out there.
It's been a little bit up and down. We started off not kind of where we wanted to be, but then as the championship season kind of came on, we started to do better as a team, and then at our sectionals, our regionals, CIF, we won, and that was a big thing for our team, so that was awesome. And then state, both individually and as a team, we didn't really kind of get our goals, but then kind of a good bounce back last weekend to make it here, so it's been good overall with a few rocky days, but it's been pretty good, and I'm excited to end it on Saturday. I think that I'm pretty competitive, and I've been super lucky to have good training partners, and just when it was COVID, that was like an activity we did, was we went out and ran every day. So I feel like super lucky to have that, and just all the seasons have stacked, and it's kind of been bringing me towards this.
Honestly, I just wanted to put myself out there and see what I can do, because I wasn't expecting how well I did at region, so I didn't realize how in shape I was. So I'm just gonna put myself out there and see what I can do. So this is definitely gonna be a little bit more like track. So like track, like your team, your team's supporting you, but you're not warming up with them, you're not doing dynamic with them. So I think I'm just gonna approach it kind of like focusing on what I know makes me run quickly, and not on this field to goof off with my friends and everything, but I'll be able to focus more.
Focusing in. You are watching our pre-race coverage of the Champ Sports Cross Country National Championships. So obviously the race is the marquee event. That is why they're here. But along the way, they are treated to a first-class experience. Here's a look. Love it. It is such a fun experience for these young athletes to really be treated like they should be, and maybe for some of them what they're going to experience for the next few years as they continue on this elite journey. Carrie's downstairs talking to some familiar faces.
Hey guys, well, I'm super pumped because I'm surrounded here by the New Balance athletes that came in, because New Balance gave them all kinds of really cool gear and are doing so many fun things with this sport. Emma, you are a New Balance athlete, and you are a world champion, Olympic medalist, like the list goes on and on. But you were one of these kids. Like, you love being around all these kids and giving such great advice. So what does this weekend mean to you?
I just love cheering for all of these kids because they've obviously accomplished so much in their high school careers thus far, and to even qualify for this meet is such an incredible honor. I actually never was fast enough to qualify for this in high school, and I always look to Corey, who experienced this race a lot, and I really love cheering for these kids. We love being involved as New Balance athletes, as coaches for the regions, and just can't wait to cheer them on.
Yeah, it's so fun. I mean, Corey, you were here many times. You even qualified before you were supposed to qualify as an 8th grader. So it's so fun to have all the athletes. We have one of the guys, Connor Mance. He was a 2-time NCAA champion. He's back. He said, I have to come back. I have to come back and say hi to the kids. So it's been cool for you to rub shoulders with all these athletes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I remember, coming here as a high schooler and this being such a
a big meet for me. It kind of opened up my eyes to see, you know, what's out there, what is everyone doing as far as training, and just seeing all the new, I don't know, new ideas that everybody had. So being here as one of the professionals really is something special.
It's awesome. Well, we want to thank all of our alum and our New Balance athletes. Back to you guys up at the booth.
The performance aspect of what we're doing with the business, bringing that in.
Carrie, thanks so much. Just catching up with Guy Harkless, who stopped by, who is the Senior Vice President and GM of Champ Sports. Of course, this is the 43rd running of the Champ Sports Cross Country National Championships. Guy, so good to talk with you. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you very much. It's good to be a part of the event. We're super excited about what today's activity will bring, and Champs is super engaged with the 43rd running as you've put out on this event. So it's a super exciting event for all the athletes that will participate today, and we're just super honored to be engaged in an event like this that just brings national attention to cross-country running. So very excited.
Well, Guy, obviously we couldn't do it without you and without Champ Sports and all that goes on behind the scenes for this. So we are super appreciative, and I know the athletes and their coaches and their teammates and their families are as well. Why do you, well, I mean, you talked a little bit, but why do you do it?
Well, we do it because we're all about sport. So ultimately, from a Champs standpoint, we do believe that sport really is a large part of who we are, and it's a large part of making us what moves us forward. Ultimately, our engagement here is all about how we bring together the world of sport, because we stand for the athlete, and certainly from our perspective, the high school athlete is really at the epicenter of our drive and future focus in terms of where we're going as a business.
When you talk about cross country, it is and just racing in general, it's one of those pure sports where you don't need a lot of equipment and sporting. I mean, it's a good pair of shoes, but that's changed a little bit over the years as well. Talk about what you guys are doing from an apparel side of things to support athletes.
Well, I mean, for us, the apparel aspect is where we lead. So we are a retailer with over 500 stores in the United States. So with our presence nationally, we seek to engage and bring together not only as you said, the footwear component to it, but also the apparel that's super important. So for us, as we think through all the things around how we dress and support the athlete, that intersection of the apparel perspective as well as the footwear really brings it all together in the right overall focus. So the high school athlete, as we've gotten engaged over our many years, really is one which just is at that forefront of engaging and getting in early around the sport of running, which is at the center of our major sports, and we continue to bring that together in a unique way in the marketplace.
All right, Guy. Hey, thanks so much for stopping by and chatting with
Absolutely.
us and all that you guys are doing. And once again, appreciate the fact that we are here in beautiful San Diego and that you're behind it. And it's good stuff.
I will say it's a beautiful day for running, and I wish all the success to all the runners out there today. So much success. Good luck.
Guy, thanks so much. We are zeroing in on the start of the girls' race. Don't worry, it didn't already start. If you heard the gun go off, we're just testing some stuff around here, and everything is looking good. Do want to bring in our color guard, and that's going to really get us going at this point. Are we ready to move forward with that? All right, we're going to welcome back, while they get in place, we're going to welcome back Carrie to the stage. Carrie, thanks again for talking with the athletes.
Oh, I love
downstairs.
that. I mean, I'm standing next to Emma Coburn and Corey McGee and Katie Rainsberger, Danny Jones, all the alum. It's so fun, and they're just so excited to see this race take off.
Let's talk about the nerves.
Well,
because those might be settling in right about now.
Yeah, you start to feel it because now our crowd's starting to filter on in here. It's starting to get real. It is.
All right, we are bringing in the Mount Miguel High School Junior ROTC for our color guard. Once again, you are watching the 43rd Annual Champ Sports Cross Country National Championships as we have the fastest girls in the nation ready to roll, followed by the fastest high school boys in the nation, all coveting that national championship, which we will watch unfold today. Thank you to our ROTC. Thank you to our national anthem singer, Hannah Cummings, as well. Let's take it downstairs, for the pre-race ceremony.
Be race ready, 5 minutes, ladies.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you to Hannah Cummings for that. Thank you to our ROTC members as well. And it is time to start thinking about the reason why we're here as this race is moments away. Final thoughts, guys.
Oh, I'm nervous. I mean, I want to race. It's so cool that they're here, and I just think that these athletes, they're getting the understanding that this is something special, right? We've been with them all weekend now, and they're understanding they're part of this family, but forever, no matter what happens today, they have made it here, and that will forever be on their running resume, and it's really important and really pretty cool.
Yeah, and in just about 17 minutes, the relief will be there, the pressure will be off. I just think about all the parents. I see all the parents sitting there. Boy, talk about nerves. My child's in the national championship race, and I think they're thinking, oh, gosh, just do okay. Just do okay today.
Yeah.
Well, all across the country, we know you're watching, so just know that they're in good hands here, and they're probably not as nervous as you are, the actual athletes, right? So talk about the team mentality, because there's some of that going on here as
right.
well.
So there's team scoring. Just like any cross-country race, the first 5 runners on the team count in the scoring. And so there's a bond here that develops between the Northeast and the South and the West and the Midwest. And they talk about that from the time they qualify and certainly while they're now. They intermix, with all divisions while they're here and even room with somebody from another region. But when they get together, it starts to be a pride thing.
Yeah.
And I think the coordinators push that a little bit, too. They want to see their area run well.
They definitely want to see their region, on top. But again, when you're here, you're kind of all, intermingling and things. But once you get together and you put that jersey on, there's something about pulling together those top 5 scores and
maybe
seeing if
Carrie
you can bring the
explain it. That
championship home.
Midwest, that mentality, boy, they're
We're
out for
hardcore.
blood. They're out for blood. I
Yep.
think some of the other areas we're nice, but the Midwest, whoo. Boy.
How important is it in a race like this where you do have such elite competition to start well?
Well, this is a great course, because we're only talking about 40 kids, and so there's a lot of room at the start. We go for about 200 yards before we even get into what they call the dog park loop, and that's a pretty wide trail. So you don't have to go out. It's not like one of those races where if I'm not out front, that's going to ruin my race. And in fact, it might even help a few because, the first hill comes up, the big time, you go out too hard, so maybe it's a little bit helpful there. But there's room for every run. This is an outstanding course. It's cross country. It's road. It's grass. It's hills. It's everything you want. There's no flat part anywhere on here, so you have to pay attention. But there's a lot of room to run.
Carrie, when you ran this race, I mean, it was just a couple years ago, right? Do you remember what it felt like in those moments before you actually got to finally go run? I mean, that's why you're here, is the running part, and then all the other stuff disappears at that point. But this moment sort of just waiting.
Yeah, this is one of the hardest moments of the day, just waiting for their names to be called out. We practiced this yesterday. We're going to introduce them soon, but having cameras in your face and knowing there's collegiate coaches out here, I mean, it's nerve-wracking. But at the same time, this is their time to shine. They've put in all this work, and this is their final race of the year. So it's sort of like once that gun goes off, it's just like, let's go have some fun. Let's see how fast we can go and see how much fun we can have after the race. Like, let's get this thing over with and get back to the hotel and party a little bit with all of our friends.
If you could give him advice as a coach right now, what would you say, Tim?
To relax, to go out well, but relax. You cannot run that first mile hard. You run that first mile hard and you get to that hill, it's over. So you've got to stay relaxed during that first mile.
All right, we are waiting for the green light to start those introductions, and when we do, we will be meeting up close and personal the best high school runners in the nation. Once again, the names and faces that you'll see on your TV in years to come. Collegiate championships, world championships, Olympics, you name it. This is the launch pad for so many wonderful athletes, and we've seen it time and time again.
Yeah, just getting spoiled rotten by New Balance and getting all the gear. That's what happens when you do race at the highest level. You get sort of spoiled at times, which you should. You work so hard, and it's something that you look forward to. It's almost like Christmas a little bit early.
The champs people should be really commended. They treat them so well here. We've had Olympians tell us before, one of the bummers is you expect this level everywhere you go from here out, and this may be the pinnacle of how well you're going to be treated. You're in a beautiful world-class hotel. They cater to every need. So it's a special weekend, no doubt about it.
Well, whether it's cross country or life, I think we're at a point where when you look at it from a 30,000-foot view level, you're not taking anything for granted anymore. Just 2 years ago, we didn't even have the opportunity to run this race because of what was going on in the world. Now this is the second year back. What's the state of cross country high school in America right now, Tim, post-COVID?
It's interesting. We're coming back, and the numbers are starting to come back up. We're seeing the communities and the programs that were solid kind of hung in there during that time, and we're able to, and they've come back pretty strong. What our goal as a cross community is help the lower income areas and the schools that maybe didn't have all the advantages to work out during that time, and they're going to take a couple more years to come back. So everybody's trying to elevate and bring everybody back up.
What sort of shoes are these kids wearing? I mean, we don't want to get too dialed in on the equipment. I mean, it's their legs that matter most. They're the ones doing it, but they have are those spikes on, or those typical running shoes for the just casual cross-country fan who's wondering what sort of shoes they're wearing?
That's up to them, and that's what's interesting. Now, in California, you cannot wear spikes in a high school meet. This is not a scholastic meet. This is an open meet, so high school kids too. But you'll see kids all over choose different things based on, and the conditions are perfect here, so they don't have to worry if they don't want to wear them. So looks like we're getting ready for our introductions. Looks like we're just about ready to go.
All right, we're going to start with the Northeast under the direction of Phil Zota. We have our captains, a New Balance professional runner. This is Danny Jones. She's a 4-time NCAA champion. She was also a 12-time All-American. Listen to this. She has an 800-meter PR of 2 flat. We're going to see her for many more years. That's Danny Jones.
And now it's our pleasure to introduce you the top 40 high school female distance runners in the country. We're going to start with the Northeast, wearing bib number 20, a junior from Livingston, New Jersey. She was the New Jersey Prep State Champion this fall. the silver medalist at the 2022 Maccabi Games in the 3,000, and she was 9th in our regional. Olivia Murray. Wearing bib 19, a junior from Malapan, New Jersey, winner of the New Jersey Meet of Champions this year in cross country. Last spring, she was the winner of the 1,600 meters at the New Jersey Meet of Champions. She was 10th in our regional. Emma Zawatsky. Wearing bib 18, a senior from Wexford, Pennsylvania. Last year, she finished 84th in the state meet. This year, she ran 2 minutes faster and won the whole thing. The Pennsylvania Cross Country State Champion. She's off to Georgetown in the fall. Natalie McLean. Wearing bib 17, a senior from Allegheny, New York. This year, she won her 2nd consecutive Class C New York State Cross Country Championship. She's been state champion in track 3 times. She's the national under-20 record holder for the 2,000-meter steeplechase. She's going to North Carolina next year. Angelina Napoleon. Wearing bib number 16, a junior from Newton, Massachusetts. Last year, she was the 2021 Massachusetts Gatorade Player of the Year in cross country. This year, she was the Division I Private Schools State Cross Country Champion. 6th in the Northeast Regional, Meg Madison. And wearing bib number 15, a senior from Olney, Maryland. This year, she was the Adidas Cross Country Challenge and Milesat Invitational Champion. She repeated this year as the Maryland Private Schools Cross Country State Champion. State champion at 3,200 on the track last year. She's going to Florida State next year. 5th in our regional, Leah Stevens. Wearing bib 14, a junior from Orono, Maine. Last year, she was the Maine State Gatorade Player of the Year in cross country. This year, she was the state cross country champion and repeated as New England cross country champion. In track, she was the state champ at 3,200 meters. 4th in the Northeast Regional, Ruth White. And wearing bib 13, just a sophomore from Mastic Beach, New York. She was 12th last year as just a freshman. New York Class A state champion this year in cross country. She's run 10:08 for 2 miles on the track. She finished as runner-up this year in the East Bay Northeast Regional, Zariel Macchia. Wearing bib number 12, a senior from New Windsor, New York. This is her 3rd time in the national championship. This year in cross country, she was 2nd in the New York Federation Championship. She was also the Manhattan Eastern States Invitational Champ, and she was the New York State Champ at 3,000. She's going to Colorado next year, Carrie Beloga. And wearing bib number 11, a junior from Belmont, Massachusetts. A national finalist last year. Last Saturday, she ran 9:10 for 3,000 meters. That's equivalent to 9:48 for 2 miles on the track. She's run 4:39 for 1,600. And 2 weeks ago, she won our Champ Sports Northeast Regional by 14 seconds. Ellie Shea.
All right. In the South, under the direction of Larry McAfee, their captain, Corey McGee. She also is a New Balance professional runner, and she's a 2020 U.S. Olympian. She ran here 2 times as a high schooler. She's a 4-flat 1,500-meter runner and a 159 800-meter runner. That was Corey McGee.
All right, the top 10 girls from the South wearing bib number 30 today. A sophomore from Williamstown, West Virginia. She was the West Virginia state champion in track at 3,200 meters last year. This year, she not only won the individual state cross-country championship, but she also led her school to the team title. She was 10th in the South Regional, Alyssa Sorrow. Wearing bib 29, a junior from Charlottesville, Virginia. She was the 2021 Virginia Gatorade Player of the Year. She was the Virginia State champ at 3,200 on the track. And this spring, she was the state champion in cross country, 9th in the South Regional, Maddie Gardner. And wearing bib 28, a junior from Charlotte, North Carolina. The North Carolina State indoor champion at 3,200 meters last winter. This year in cross country, she captured first place in her region and then second place in the state championship. 8th in our region, Mary Bonner Dalton. And wearing bib number 27, a sophomore from Bell Buckle, Tennessee. She made it last year as just a freshman all the way here to the Nationals. She was the Tennessee Gatorade Player of the Year in cross country last year. This year she won her third straight cross country championship. She ran 16:53 for 5,000 on the track as just a freshman, Abby Faith Cheeseman. Wearing bib number 26, a senior from McLean, Virginia. This is her second year qualifying for the national championships. She's finished first once and second twice in the Virginia State Cross Country Championships. She set 8 school records this year. She is off to Duke in the fall, 6th in the region. Thais Raleigh. Wearing bib 25, a senior from Weston, Virginia. Last spring, she was the Virginia 6A state champion in track at 3,200 meters. She's run 4:47 for 1,600, 10:16 for 3,200. This fall, she capped off an undefeated scholastic season by winning the state cross-country championship. She is committed to the University of Virginia next year, Jillian Boucher. Wearing bib number 24, a junior from Flower Mound, Texas. She tied with her twin sister Samantha for first place in the Texas 6A State Cross Country Championships this year, and they led their team to its third straight state title. She's run 2:08 for 800, 4:49 for 1,600 on the track. She was fourth in our South Regional, Nicole Humphreys. Wearing bib 23, a junior from Forest, Virginia. She made it here last year to Nationals as just a freshman. In track, she was the Adidas Indoor National Champion in the mile. She's run 4:43 for 1,600, 10:15 for 32 on the track. She was third in the Champ South Regional, Allie Zeeland. Wearing bib 22, a junior from Cedar Park, Texas. The Texas 5A state champion track at both 1,600 and 3,200 meters. The Texas state record holder in the mile, having run 4:38. 6th last weekend at NXN, second in our South region, Isabel Kanda Frankenberg. And wearing bib 21, a senior from Richmond, Kentucky. A national returner, she was 26th in this race last year. 5 times she has been the Kentucky state champion in cross country. 3 times the Gatorade Kentucky Player of the Year in cross country. Undefeated this year in cross country. State champ again last year at 16 and 32 on the track. Our South Regional champion, Kira O'Shea.
All right, now introducing the Midwest, their captain, Emma Coburn, and under the direction of Leanne Pomeroy. Emma Coburn is a world champion. She's a 3-time Olympian. She's a bronze medalist from the 2016 Rio Olympic Games. That is your captain, Emma Coburn.
All right, let's introduce the girls that'll be racing for the Midwest today. Wearing bib number 40, a senior from Granville, Michigan. This year she placed second in the Michigan Division I State Cross Country Meet and in the Michigan Meet of Champions. 10th in our Midwest Regional, Allison Arnsman. Wearing bib 39, a senior from Indianapolis, Indiana. 20th here last year in the Nationals. Got great speed on the track, having run 57:04 for the 400 and 2:09 for the 800. She's going to Notre Dame in the fall, Gretchen Farley. Wearing bib 38, a junior from Ringgold, Wisconsin. She completed an undefeated scholastic cross-country season by winning her conference meet, sectional championship, and the Wisconsin Division I State Championship. 8th in our region, Sarah Melodic. Wearing bib 37, a senior from Olmsted Falls in Ohio. In track, she was the Ohio Division I state champion at 3,200 meters. Undefeated during the Scholastic cross-country season, setting 7 course records along the way. She finished second by winning her second consecutive season winning the Ohio AA State Championship. She'll run for Oregon in the fall. 7th in our regional, Katie Clute. And wearing bib number 35, a sophomore from Holland, Michigan. As a freshman last year, she ran 4:52 and 10:26. In cross country this year, she not only won the Michigan Division I state championship, but she also led her school to the team title. She was 5th in our region, Helen Sachs. And wearing bib 34, a sophomore from Shelby, Michigan. This cross-country season, she won her region and division. Then she finished off the year by winning the Michigan State Division III championship, and she set a new sophomore state record when she won the Michigan Meet of Champions. She was 4th in our regional, Jessica Jazwinski. Wearing bib 33, a senior from Huxley, Iowa. She was the Drake Relays and Iowa State champion on the track at 3,000 meters. And this year she became the first high school female from Iowa to ever break 17 minutes for 5,000, as she did so when she won the state meet, setting a new meet record of 16:48. She's going to Arkansas next year, Peyton Noe. And wearing bib number 32, a senior from Indianapolis, Indiana. She placed in the top 7 here last year, 3rd this year at the Indiana State Cross Country Meet. Last weekend, she finished 7th at the NXN. She's run 4:49 for 1,600, 10:14 for 3,200. She'll move across the country to Stanford next year in the fall. Runner-up in our Champs Midwest Regional, Sophia Kennedy.
And introducing our West region under the direction of Doug Todd, our captain is Katie Rainsberger. Katie was a 10-time Colorado State champion in cross country and track. She first started her career at Oregon, where they won the NCAA team championship. She finished her career at the University of Washington. She's a 2:05 800-meter runner, a New Balance professional runner. That was Katie Rainsberger.
And now the top 10 girls out of the West, wearing bib number 50, a junior from Harriman, Utah. The Region 3 cross-country champion this year. She placed 2nd in the divisionals. She was 10th in our West Regional, Kaylee Bracken. Wearing bib number 49, a senior from Layton, Utah. This year in cross country, she won her district, regionals, and divisional championship, and then went on to place 5th in the Utah State Meet. 9th in our West Regional, Haley Lowe. Wearing bib 48, a senior from Laguna Niguel, California. This year in cross country, she started out the year by winning the Iolani Invitational in Hawaii and ended the year by winning the Southern California Section Championships. She will run for the University of Oregon in the fall. 8th in our regional, Allura Marco. Wearing bib 47, a sophomore from Laguna Hills, California. This year she won her 2nd consecutive Orange County Cross Country Championship. She then went on to place 3rd in the California State Division IV Championships, 7th in our West Regional, Holly Barker. Wearing bib 46, a senior from Fresno, California. She was 10th this year in the California Division I Cross Country Championships. She led her team to a 3rd place finish. She was 6th in our West Regional, Ashlyn Leith. Wearing bib 45, a junior from Boise, Idaho. Last year in cross country, she was the Idaho State 5A champion. This year she placed second in the state meet and led her school to its 5th consecutive state team title, 5th in the West Regional. Allie Bruce. Wearing bib 44, a senior from Rockland, California. Last spring, she placed second in the 3,200 meters at the Arcadia Invitational. This fall, she won her sectional championship in cross country. She'll run for Oregon State in the fall, 4th in the West Regional, Katie Kopek. And wearing bib 43, the only freshman to qualify for the national champions this year from San Diego, California. She was the San Diego Division IV cross-country champion on this very course. She placed second in the California State Division IV championships. She became only the 4th freshman in 75 years to break 17 minutes on the Mount Sac course. She was 3rd in the West Regional, Kiara Daly. And wearing bib 42, a junior from Carlsbad, California. This fall, she won the San Diego Section Division III championship right here on this course. She went on to place second in the California State Meet in Division III. She was the Mount Sac Invitational Sweepstakes champion. Second in our West Regional, Johanna Lapizzo. And wearing bib 41, a sophomore from Ventura, California. Last year, she set the world record for a mile run by an athlete under the age of 15, running 4:35.16. The California State champ at 1,600 on the track. She's run 2:05 for 800, 4:33 for 1,600, 9:50 for 3,200. This fall, she was the California Division II cross-country champion, running the fastest time of all the 5 divisional winners. She made it here to the Nationals last year as a freshman. This year, she was our Western Regional champion, Sadie Englehart.
Final team pictures here as we are now just minutes away from the start of this race. We're going to get our first good look at a huge collection of record holders, of state champions, of just an amazing group of girls that are going to take us on a, what do we think, 16, 17-minute ride here. How long is this race going to last, Tim?
I think we're looking at maybe under 17 today. This is a good
There's only
group
been
of
10
girls.
that have ever done that.
That would be impressive if we got that. We've had some great races the last couple of years. 17 is really the gold standard. And we might see some underclassmen get under there. We've never had a freshman do it. We got a shot with that. Very few sophomores and juniors and a few seniors. But, boy, you get into that sub-17, that's historic.
This 5,000-meter course is in prime condition. Our course officials are clearing it right now, trying to get everyone out of the way so we can get the race underway. Tim, for people not familiar with this course, it's got a fair amount of hills here.
This is what is exceptional about this course. It is truly cross-country. We're not running on a road. We're not running flat. We're running hills. And it's not just the big hill. It's up and down the whole way. There's a lot of turns. You've got to keep your mind and keep sharp, not to lose the group, because you can lose them coming around the pool area. They make some sharp turns. It's important that you stay focused on what's going on.
And with that, we are ready to go. We'll head down to the starter.
Here we go. The 2022 Champ Sports National Finals. 40 of the best young ladies in the country, and they take it out hard. So our course goes over this little rise. We'll go on downhill for about another 200 meters, and then they'll make that U-turn. So, Carrie, they look like they're going to go out a little bit hard.
That's Zariel Makia out front. She's run here before. She came back wanting to do better than she did before. She's only a sophomore, so she is pushing hard. She likes this downhill part of the starting section of this course. You get up and over, and you get down into what they call the dog park.
The dog park loop, and that is very fast. Now, Stephen, you were asking about how fast they go out. This is incredibly quick here. It's an elite field of girls. And for Zariel to take it out that fast, this is obviously a planned move. This has got to be something they talked about, ready to get it out well. It's not just looking like a runner trying to stay out of the fray. That looks like a plan to take this pace out. And if we're going to have a 17-minute man, we got to go out hard, and they are going out hard. That's just about a quarter mile in right now. They'll make that turn, this dog park loop. Is the U-turn. Then we start for kind of a long uphill stretch. We talked about there are no flat. It's not really a hill, but it's an upgrade, and it's an upgrade heading up to the 800-meter marks. But now that she's taken that pace out, the group is joining her.
Yeah, I kind of like when a person gets out real hard and they establish, we're less than 800 meters into the race. So she went out hard. It wasn't like she's in oxygen out already. She just got out there. She got her placement, and then there's Carrie Beloga leading the way right now. So everyone is now kind of back in, and they're going to get into their groove.
Yes, it looks like Beloga out of the Northeast, our runner-up in the Northeast region, taking over the duties there, making that pace heading up to the 800-meter mark. So Beloga, that's the black there, the tops of the Northeast, moving very well.
You can see that there are obviously people spread out across the course who are cheering them on, but they always get a shot of adrenaline as they make this loop back to sort of the main area of the course where most of the spectators are viewing.
If there were a parent or a coach out there that said, just let the race unfold until you see me or you hear me, but they would almost need to separate themselves from this spot right where we're at because it gets loud in here and everyone gets excited again. I would almost say go over towards the hill a little bit if you need to shout certain instructions to your athletes because it's going to get loud.
All right, 2:35 at 800 as they pass the 800-meter mark. Conda Frankenberg right up there with Beloga and O'Shea, Noe, and Stevens. That's our top five, but really a good group. But it's starting to spread out already. This is where they do 4 quick turns to get around the pool area. They'll come back right by the start line. So we have decided that this will not be a tactical race. This will be a go out and hang on for dear life kind of race as they go out well. Beloga has the experience. There's no reason to doubt that she could hold this pace.
Well, this is Beloga's 3rd time here. She's the only athlete that's raced here 3 times. She was 11th in 2019. She was 4th in 2021. And when you're 4th, you can smell that first place finish. It's right there. And so she's come back and she says she wants the win.
So they move across the road now. This will be another bit of a downhill. They'll go into what they call the reflecting pool area. So it's kind of a place to recover, but you've got to believe, Carrie, already that we've got a group that's separated there, that if you're planning on winning, you've got to be in that front group right there.
I always think in cross country, you have to see the place you want to be. You have to be able to almost touch it or be in control to get there because you cannot depend on athletes coming back to you. Some of them will, but when you're an athlete, 5K is not that long of a race, right? I mean, it feels long for those of us that aren't maybe running, but these athletes are used to it. They're conditioned for it, but they have to see where they want to finish. We have had athletes like a Sarah Hall come from way behind and win, but that rarely happens.
There's a good dozen to 15 in that initial cluster, though.
That is, and there's some, they're all, the regional winners are up there. Everybody's close to that group. So nobody is out of that group except that group. And what I mean by that is you got to believe that the winner's going to come right out of that group there.
They're on the left-hand side, I believe. Is that Ellie Shea right there?
It looks like it in the black of the Northeast there. Yeah, moving right up. So her and Beloga know each other well. Might be a little confidence in that. This is somebody I run with all the time. So they're just about to cross the road, and we will get a mile split. Boy, the Northeast looks pretty strong there in that black and green shorts, the black over green. They're running well up front. Beloga right there still pushing the pace. We'll see how fast we get to the mile, and then we'll see how the hill goes the first time. Just about crossing the road now, and we're just about coming up to the mile mark here. We're going to be right around there. Looks to be about 5:20 there at the mile. They go by at 5:17, 5:17, and right there, so Beloga's our leader. You see O'Shea and then Ellie Shea out of the south running well. Stevens and Kennedy running well there. Stevens also from the Northeast and Kennedy from the Midwest. Conda de Frankenberg came by at 5:18. Peyton Noe, Gretchen Farley, Faith Cheeseman, Zariel Makia, all right there, 5:18, 5:19. So 12th, 13th, we had 13 girls go under 5:20 to the first mile.
And you know what under 5:20 means? That means they're on record pace. I know that we talk about it a lot, but 5:21 is what Melody Fairchild set that record so many years ago at. That was her split going through that first mile.
All right, so the key here, they're up the hill the first time. They're already to the top, so it's almost 450 meters from the bottom to the top. It levels out a little bit in the middle, and even this top part is still a bit uphill. So they go 450 meters to get up to the top, and then they come flying down a steep part of the hill. And one of the keys to running well here, can you run downhill well? Can you open up a lead or make up ground without incurring any debt? And so this is why our first shot at who can really run downhill well. But Balboa sure looks good, confident, and now breaking up our pack even more.
Ellie O'Shea back there. Also, I'm sorry, Kira O'Shea right there, now just taking the lead. Kira said this is what it's all about. She loves that cross country is all about the ups and the downs, the weather elements. I mean, you can't get much better than this kind of weather in San Diego, but she loves the challenge of going up that hill and conquering it as you come down.
You know, file that away, Carrie. She came down that hill well. She came downhill fast. She had that good lean, didn't incur much debt, and they're going to come down that in the finish with that last half mile. So if she's in it, she's a downhill runner. So here we go, right here, the pre-favorites right to the front. That's Kira O'Shea in the red. Here comes Ellie Shea on the outside left of Balboa, and then Balboa in the middle running well. And this like Leah Stevens of the Northeast tucked right in there, comfortable in there. So those are the three of the top 5 girls from the Northeast right up in that front group running well. Midwest in the yellow hanging right in there, but we'll get a halfway split here in just a moment. But oh my gosh, Balboa putting the hammer down. There's no time to rest, nothing.
There's no time to rest. This is kind of that moment in the course where you're going to start seeing the familiarity of doing a loop beforehand here. So they're starting to come up towards us again. So everybody get going. Here they come. But
here come our leaders. Here they are.
This is that moment where you need to regroup and really mentally attack, because we know we have this whole loop to go, right? And you need to get through this section here. Almost let the downhill let you get your breath back and get back into attack mode for those hills.
That's Peyton Noe of the Midwest that has moved up to join that little breakaway group. So Ellie Shea, she's got the shades on there. You can see that. And then Kiara O'Shea still right in there, the only one in the red there. Carrie Balaga right in the middle. She's been the leader. And then Peyton Noe, though, making a bit of a move, a little bit of a drop-off to Stevens. And then moving up in that group, in that next group, seeing if we can move up a little bit here. We see Sadie Engelhardt of the West trying to get up in it. We'll see how that goes over the dog park loop. This is the last really downhill until they get to the steep downhill of Upus, but looking very good here. Peyton Noe of the Midwest starting to move well.
Peyton Noe is one of those girls that has broken 17 minutes. A lot of people talk about times. I'm not so interested in times in cross country. I like just getting to the finish line first, but she is one of those 10 girls from Iowa that's gone under 17 minutes, and we've talked only 10 girls have ever broken 17 minutes right here at Balboa.
All right, for the first time so far in the race, the Northeast Regional Champion, Ellie Shea, takes the pace here. Maybe she senses a little bit of this might be the time. So it's just been kind of a battle of attrition here. And now Ellie Shea taking the pace out. They're coming up just about to the 2-mile mark. We should get that in less than a minute. And now we're down to the big 3 here. Balboa, Shea, and Noe here, all heading up to the 2-mile mark.
Ellie Shea just kind of looking around a little bit, checking out who's with her, what's going on. But Ellie Shea has had phenomenal times that she's put up on the board. She's only a sophomore, but she can run everything from 2:08 in the 800 meters all the way up to 15:49 for 5K indoors. She's got a great range, and it's really interesting to see her now. She's only run one cross-country race this year, but we know she's back here She's a 2-time finalist. She didn't have the year she wanted or the race she wanted last year, so she's been thinking about it for 365 days.
You know, it's like boxers punching. One goes after, then the other comes back. So now it looks like Noe's trying to make a bit of a can you go with me move now. So we've seen Balboa do it early. We saw Shea do it a minute ago, and now Noe, and they're testing each other to see who can hang. We're coming up to the 2-mile mark now. See what that split is. It's 10:55, and so Shea, Noe, and Balboa. Kira Shea a few steps back. She was 11:02 or 10:59, so about 4 seconds back, and then Abby Faith Cheeseman running in 5th, Sophia Kennedy in 6th, Leah Stevens in 7th. Makia in 8th, Engelhardt in 9th, and Conda de Frankenberg. That's our top 10 as they went through, and our leaders 10:55 at the 2-mile. So here we go, coming around the pool. That's going to be the 3 right there. Peyton Noe in the yellow, Balboa in the middle, and Ellie Shea on the left as they come through. And they are starting to pull away a bit more. O'Shea, though, staying pretty close, isn't she? Hanging in there.
Yeah, she looks good. She still has time.
And that is Abby Faith Cheeseman has made up a bit of that gap. So if those 3 don't continue to push each other, and now we've got another move. Here we go now. Ellie Shea now using a little bit of that downhill. Nobody dominating, but each one taking its turn to try to soften the middle, if you will, of the other 2. It looks like Elio, this is a legitimate move here, Carrie. We're moving now.
I think this is smart for her. You know, she has so many great athletes right around her, but she has such depth in her running that she can kind of play a little bit, and I think this is where you use the flat right here. You use the flat, you push hard, you see if you can break a little bit, and if not, regroup on the hill and then really hammer home.
She may be putting Balboa into a little bit of a depth, but Balboa knows she cannot let her go. They are together and hanging right there. Peyton Noe just a few steps back. They're going to make that turn. They'll head to the hill one more time. And I think, Stephen, we've been talking all day about that hill. That's going to help us decide who's going to be our girls' national champion.
Well, year after year, we see it that some separation really occurs at this point in the race.
It really does. But Ellie Shea looks great heading on the top part. Balboa right there on her shoulder. They know each other well. Both out of the Northeast, and Noe hanging tough right there. And you can see they have really opened up on 3, 4, 5, and 6. And this race will be these 3 right here. Here we go. We're going to cross the road, and then we're going to see what this hill does to us heading to the big finish. Ellie Shea running well. The junior out of Massachusetts out front. Balboa, the senior, right there. And Noe trying to hang tough, the Iowa State champ, as they come across the road. Noe right there.
Yeah, I like that Noe is answering the call. She's not letting distance get in between them too much. There's definitely some going back and forth up front, but Carrie Balboa is going to take this hill, and she's going to see if she can put some distance on.
She did. She moved up there the first time. I don't think we've had a race like this where in the last 2 miles you've had so many different leaders try to push the pace and get away from everybody. This is fascinating. Nobody taking control. And here comes Noe coming back. Oh, my. She moves into second there. Now, the question is Shea taking it easy going up that hill. The downhill will decide here what's going on. Conda Frankenberg moving up well, but Balboa says, you're right, this is the hill, this is the time. She opens up.
You're right, though, Tim. Ellie Shea is still right there. Almost maybe was that her strategy. Sort of sustain on the hill, not attack too much. Sustain your energy, hold on to your energy. Use this little bit of a climb on the back side of the hill and then see what happens. But once you come down the hill, you have to be ready to start that kick. It is not that far. It's less than 600 meters home.
Those 3, Abby Faith Cheeseman doing a great job trying to move up in 4th, but Balboa, look at that lead just in that top part. When they hit that turn, we have less than a half mile to go. Coming downhill, coming down Upas Street over the years. This is where we've seen a lot of the action. So Ellie Shea now has moved into second, has passed Noe, and here we come down the hill. See if that Ellie Shea can make up the room. They get down that hill. It is a slight uphill to almost all the way to the finish. Just to get over that crest, there is a little downhill finish, but there is still a lot of room for Ellie Shea to have a shot to make it up. But Balboa makes the turn in the lead. We're less than 600 meters to go now.
Carrie Balboa. 11th here last in 2019, 4th here in 2021. She's a senior. This is her last shot, and she's going for it.
This is obviously the final move. Here we go. Less than a quarter to go now. Making that turn, starting to feel it. The crowd trying to help her on. Ellie Shea's trying to stay close enough to get us a kick, to get it close. We've seen in the last 100 meters before, it gets very close, and Noe hanging right in there. Those are the big three. Beloga makes a turn, just about to come up to the 3-mile mark, and then from there, just another 165 meters over the top to a national championship, the one she has been dreaming about. Her previous 2 attempts here have been strong, but this is a national shot, and now here comes Shea trying to close it. 13 as we go by the 3-mile mark, 16:11 for Beloga. Here she comes over the top. Carrie Beloga moving well. The senior from New York pulling away. Over the hill, she looks great, strong, moving well. Shea running great in second. Here comes Noe, but over the top, here she comes. Carrie Beloga out of New York. She will be the 2022 Champ Sports National Cross Country Champion. What a great race. Here comes Shea in second. Oh my, 16:48. One of the great races of all time. Shea goes under 17, 16:55. And a great race for Noe right at 17, 17:01. Faith Cheeseman cruising all the way, making up ground as she comes flying through. What a great finish, 17:13 to get that 4th spot. And Kira O'Shea, she'll finish 5th at 17:21. And Makia, after that great start, finishes strong to get 6th at 17:33. Leah Stevens, also of the Northeast, gives the Northeast 4 of the top 7. She finishes at 17:37. Allie Zeeland of the South with 4 girls in the top 9. Zeeland goes 17:38. Alyssa Sorrow, 17:39. And Sadie Engelhart finishes 10th at 17:41. But congratulations, outstanding time for Carrie Beloga. As our girls continue to finish in our crowd, bringing them all in, each one of them. But our winner, what a great race, what experience counts. Carrie Beloga making that last move over that last mile and looking incredibly strong as she finishes here as our 2022 Champs Sports National Champion.
And let's hear it for all of our runners who are still making their way through, giving them the final push. These ladies have been so dominant through their high school careers so far. Some of them just not used to having anyone in front of them, but this is an impressive field that we have here today. Every single one of them putting it all on the line, and the cheers down the home stretch here for some of our just fantastic high school athletes across America. And congratulations to that top 3. So, Tim, 16:49. Put that in perspective for us.
That is the 7th fastest time. We'll get what the official time, 16:49.2. That puts her as the 8th fastest time the San Diego course here. So, in the 43 years of the event, she's one of the top 10 girls ever. We said now, Zario, we'll give her a little credit for taking that pace out hard. But Carrie right there, never let the group get away. And then Ellie Shea came up. But, Noe pushing the pace, and then Shea pushing the pace, and then Beloga taking her turn. But you saw her. Carrie was right. I think the hill was the plan the whole time. That second time, she looked so strong going up that hill the second time, and then no one could catch her. But 16:49, really one of the best races, and that might just be the finest high school girls cross-country race of the year. What a great race for Carrie Beloga.
You were saying there were some girls in this race that hadn't lost.
Yes.
Yet.
Well, if you're going to lose, might as well lose to one of the best there has ever been. But to be, when you look at the history of this, of the great Olympians and the national champions that have come through this race, to be one of the top 10 ever in that group, that is an accomplishment. 1649, that is flying. I mean, 17 minutes is flying. Last year, Natalie Cluck, a great race, didn't break 17, and this is 16:49, and it's actually a little warm actually here. I know San Diego people like to say it's a beautiful day, but it's a little warm for cross country, and that even makes that 16:49 even more special.
And how about the Northeast team?
Oh, wow, okay, looks like Carrie's ready to talk to our 2022 Champ Sports National Cross Country Champion. Carrie?
I am ready. Carrie, you did it. Congratulations. Thank you so much. This is so exciting, and I had so much fun running today. I'm super excited, and I'm so thankful for everybody who supported me along this 3-year journey of coming here for Foot Locker, East Bay, and now Champ Sports. So, like everybody says, last one, best one.
Third time's a charm. Your dad said yes, yes, yes. What did it feel like to give everybody a big hug after?
Oh my gosh, they're such a huge part of this, and I'm forever grateful. But to see them all around the course only made me want to push harder. And
Because you pushed hard and you really went for it that second lap.
oh my goodness, I mean, I felt it right as I started, and I knew it going into the second lap that I was planning on making a move on the hill, and that's just the way it happened. So I'm super happy.
All right, here.
Oh, thank you.
So you said you pushed really hard that second lap. Let's hear that again.
Yeah, so I mean, the first lap I felt really great, kind of felt how my body was feeling, and I went up to the first hill and I had a little bit of a gap, and I was like, okay, this is where it's gonna happen. I mean, I knew it beforehand as well, but really coming around that second lap, I knew I had to stick to anybody who made the move. So, I mean, going up there, I was like, this is my moment, this is my last one, so I have to make the most of it.
So when you broke the tape, what did that feel like? Because not many people have been able to break that tape.
Honestly, it doesn't even feel like I did it. It's so surreal. I mean, I've seen so many great athletes come through and break the tape, but now it's me. And standing here, this is what I visualized at home. I knew that this is where I wanted to be in the moment after the race, so I'm so happy.
Carrie, we have Guy here. He's going to give you your medal here, or your plaque. Guy with Champs, way to go.
Absolutely. Congratulations on behalf of Champ Sports. This hardware is for you. Congratulations.
Back to you guys.
It's more than just a plaque. That's a Tiffany plate. That's pretty cool. Just to put this in a little bit of perspective here, we keep talking about this is going to go down as one of the great races. So the 16:39 course record by Melody Fairchild. There are a lot of people that have been in sport for a long time will tell you that that may be the greatest cross-country race ever. 16:39. Carrie just ran 16:49. That closer, just 10 seconds off what would have been maybe the greatest cross-country race we've ever seen in high school. And now Carrie Beloga, 16:49 is unbelievable. And Ellie Shea's 16:55, Stephen, that's the second fastest time ever run by a junior on this course. She's only the second girl ever, junior girl, to break 17 on this course. So Ellie Shea, great race for her. And then Noe, oh my gosh, running right there at 17:01. That could have won it last year. That's how great that race was.
Well, some of these girls we hope to see back next year, and you were talking about that piece of hardware that she's going to get to take home with her. That may put her above the luggage allowance on the flight home if she packs that. But I'm thinking maybe it's going to sit with her on the plane there. Congratulations again to all of our participants as we're putting the final results up on the stage for you. We are going to be checking in with Carrie momentarily with our other finishers as well. But just thoughts on that race, because those three were there. They were so tight for so long, and then just as you said, at the hill, the separation occurred.
I can't think of a race I've ever seen where you've had three different girls push the pace at different places so many times, And I'll tell you right now, when every one of those girls made that move from a mile all the way up until she made it again at 2.5 miles, they thought, all right, this is my time. I got to get away. And they tried to get away and couldn't get away. All three made a move. Even Beloga tried to get away and couldn't get away from it. Then Shea takes the lead. And Noe, what a courageous effort from Peyton Noe to come back and to come back and to come back and to hang in there to run 17:01. That all three of the man. If I were a college coach, the only analogy I can think of for those three girls, it's almost like when the Grinch stole Christmas and the heart of the Grinch grows and grows and grows. It's like all three of those girls, just their hearts. I can win this dang thing, and all three are champions. Beloga gets the Tiffany plate, but that's three great efforts. The Northeast wins as a team, by the way.
Let's head back downstairs to Carrie. Hi.
All right, Allie Shea. This time you ran awesome. You were runner-up today. You know what? On that second lap, you really pushed hard. Talk us through your race.
Yeah, I was definitely excited to come out here. I was really thankful that Champs put on such an awesome race for us, and I wanted to just see what I could do and enjoy the day. It's a beautiful day out.
Tell me about the race coming in. You know, last year you didn't have your race, and a lot of young athletes are out here watching you. How did you get your mind right to come back? And now, I mean, you're runner-up. You were right there.
Yeah, I definitely think you just have to treat each race as a different opportunity and not think about the good races or the bad races, because you can't really control that. But just do what you can on the day, and you'll be happy no matter what.
Did you have fun?
I had a lot of fun today, yeah. It's so nice racing in the warm weather.
I know. I love that, too. You said you're really good at making tamales and eating cake, so what are you going to do to celebrate now?
I think there's ice cream back at the hotel.
Well, congratulations. Our runner-up, everybody.
Oh, it's so incredible. Talking about those finish times, for people who are watching at home, to put it into perspective of what that is like to run that fast. Maybe just the next time you're going out for a neighborhood jog and you can time yourself on a 5,000. See what your time is and remember that 16:49.
And then remember, they went up 2 mountains. I mean, that's a heck of a hill. That's almost a half-mile worth of hills to get up there. And then the hills of the inclines as they went along. That makes it, just to give you a little bit more. So Ellie Shea is the second fastest ever, second place. And then Noe is the second fastest ever, third place. So that as a mass finish is really one of the great mass finishes. And the scoring, it's kind of that's the kind of the fun part here, the scoring. So the Northeast 32 points, the South 38. That was pretty close. Midwest 66 and the West 96. But those Northeast girls, we kept saying,
sure.
They've got the studs. They're coming in here as a group that's run so well. And boy, they did not disappoint. If you're talking about, will it be worth the price of admission? Whatever you paid, it's twice worth that price of admission.
Twice for free.
Well, hey, there you go. It was great there.
Hey, as a reminder, we've only got one race in the book so far. We have a second one still to go. And we are seeing some of our boys, some of the fastest high school boys in the nation, starting to stretch the legs, do a little high leg kicks and things like that as we are getting ready for race number 2, guys. Hard to believe. I wonder if they're going to be able to match the excitement that we saw with the girls.
One good thing about that is it tells all those 40 boys the course is fast, the course is very fast, the conditions are right for a good time. And I'll tell you, there's a couple boys that, all right, so maybe we can go out pretty well. Let's see if we can challenge that 15-minute barrier like we saw the girls challenge that 17-minute barrier. So it looks like we're just about ready.
Always be able to have the title Champ Sports Cross Country National Champion on her resume. Let's move on. Let's get to the guys.
All right. Well, we are going to start with the Northeast introductions under the direction of Phil Zoda. This is Steve Slattery, who's the Northeast captain. He is a 2-time Foot Locker finalist. He was the NCAA runner-up in the steeplechase. He's a U.S. champion in the steeplechase. And he and his wife just got inducted into the Foot Locker Champs Hall of Fame last night.
All right, we've had a great girls race. Let's introduce the boys and see if they're up to the challenge here. All right, here we go. Wearing bib number 60, a senior from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. He's run 154 and 411 on the track. In cross country, he was the Mid-Penn Conference champion, 10th in our Northeast Regional, TJ Roden. And wearing bib 59, just a sophomore, one of three to make it here on the boys' side from Andover, Massachusetts. Last year he won the Frost-Off race in his Northeast Regional. This year he stepped in big time to become the only sophomore in the Northeast to qualify for Nationals. He placed 9th in that regional, Tam Gavinas. Wearing bib 58, a junior from Lancaster, Pennsylvania. After winning his conference and district championships this year, he went on to place 4th in the Pennsylvania AA Cross Country Championships. He ran 9:07 last year for 3,200 on the track, 8th in the Northeast Regional, Colin Whitaker. Wearing bib 57, a junior from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. After running 9:06 for 3,200 meters as just a sophomore, he came on strong this cross-country season, placed 2nd in the Pennsylvania AA Cross Country Championships. He was 7th in the Northeast Regional. This is Ryan Pajak. Wearing bib 56, a senior from Linfield, Massachusetts. He's been the state champion at 3,200 meters on the track the past 2 years in a row. This year he ran 12:18 to take 3rd in the Manhattan Invitational. He's going to be off to Michigan next year. He was 6th in the region, Nathan Lopez. Wearing bib 55, a senior from Horsham, Pennsylvania. Last year he was the Pennsylvania Mile Split Cross Country Athlete of the Year. This year he won the 3A Pennsylvania State Cross Country Championship. He's run 4:11 on the track for the full mile. He's off to Penn State in the fall, 5th in the region, Brian DeCola. Wearing bib 54, a senior from Ellicott City, Maryland. Last year, the Maryland Gatorade Player of the Year in cross country and the state champion. This year, the runner-up in the Eastern States Championship race at the Manhattan Invitational. He has run 152 for 800 on the track, 410 for 1,600, 4th in the Northeast region, Antonio Camacho Bucks. Wearing bib 53, a junior from Westford, Massachusetts. He ran his lifetime best of 14:43 for 5,000 to win his divisional championship. He then followed that up by winning the Massachusetts State Championship. He was 3rd in the region, Paul Bergeron. Wearing bib 52, a senior from Framingham, Massachusetts. He made it here last year to the national championship in track. He was the Massachusetts Indoor State Champion at 3,200 meters. He'll attend Harvard in the fall. Runner-up in the Northeast Regional, Sam Burgess. And wearing bib 51, a junior from Butler, Pennsylvania. He, after running 9:04 for 3,200 on the track as just a sophomore, he came back this cross-country season, won his conference, won his district, and was the runner-up in the Pennsylvania State Championship. He had a great finish in our Northeast region to capture the championship, Drew Griffith.
All right. The South region is under the direction of Larry McAfee and their captain, Eduardo Torres. Ed is a 3-time Foot Locker finalist. He was on the NCAA team championship team for Colorado. He also was a member of 3 World Cross Country Championship teams as a pro. This is Ed Torres,
who just had knee surgery a couple weeks ago, so that's why he's not jogging down there. All right, here we go. Wearing bib number 70, a senior out of Lubbock, Texas. This fall, the Texas 5A state champion in cross country. He's run 4:10 for 1,600 meters. He's going to Oklahoma State University in the fall. This is David Mora. Wearing bib 69, a junior out of San Antonio, Texas. In track, he won both the 16 and 3,200 meters at the Texas State Meet of Champions last year. He ran 8:55 to finish second at running lane in the 3200. This fall, second in the Texas 5A State Cross Country Championship, ninth in the region, Marcelo Parda. Wearing bib 68, a junior from Winfield, West Virginia. Last spring, he led Winfield High School to the state championship in track. This fall, he won the individual West Virginia State Cross Country Championship for the second year in a row. Eighth in the South Regional, Braden Marshall. Wearing bib 67, a senior out of McAllen, Texas. He's run 4:11 for 1600, 9:08 for 3200, and he finished second in both those events at last year's Texas State Track Championships. He was district regional champion this year in cross country, seventh in the South Regional, Aiden Granados. Wearing bib 66, a senior from Tavares, Florida. He's been on back-to-back state championships teams in track. This fall, the district and regional champion in cross country. He finished off the season by winning the Florida Senior All-Star Classic. Sixth in the South Regional, Riley Novak. All right, wearing bib 65, a senior out of Auburn, Alabama. The Alabama State champion at 3,200 meters on the track. Cross country, he won the Alabama State 7A cross country title, and he set a new state meet and course record doing it. He's going to Auburn in the fall, fifth in the South Regional, Maxwell Harden. Wearing bib 64, a junior from Fort Worth, Texas. In track, the Texas State 4A 1,600 meter champion as just a sophomore. This cross country season, he was the district, regional, and state 4A champion. He's run 4:09 for 1,600 on the track. He was fourth in the South Regional, Angel Sanchez. And wearing bib 63, a senior from Austin, Texas. Last spring, it was the Texas State champ at 3,200 on the track. He ran 8:50.91 to win the running lane 3,200. This fall, he won the Texas 6A State Cross Country Championship for the second year in a row. He'll join the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame in the fall, third in the regional, Kevin Sanchez. And nursing a hamstring injury there, Kevin still joining us today in our national championship. Bib 62, a senior from Monetta, Virginia. This year he won the Virginia Class 6A State Cross Country Championship. Last spring, state champion at both 1,600 and 3,200 on the track. He's run 4:11 and then 8:59 for 2 miles. He will be a volunteer at Tennessee in the fall. Second in the South Regional, Nathan Achu. And wearing bib 61, a senior from Hendersonville, North Carolina. The North Carolina State Track Champion at 800, 1,600, and 3,200. He was the running lane champion in the mile, having run 4 flat 76. He has run 1:54.79 and 8:43 for 3,200 meters. This year, undefeated, won the state cross country championship, set a new state meet record. He will run for Wake Forest in the fall, the winner of the South Regional, Rocky Hansen.
All right, everybody, this is our Midwest region under the direction of Leon Pomeroy. Their captain, Jorge Torres. He is a 4-time Foot Locker finalist. He was an NCAA champion at the University of Colorado, and he was a U.S. Olympian. That's Jorge Torres.
All right, our pleasure now to list the top 10 boys from the Midwest wearing bib number 80. He's a senior from Canton, Ohio. In track, the Ohio State champion at 3,200 meters, running 9:05. This fall, he placed third in the Ohio State Cross Country Championships. Next fall, he'll run for the University of Tennessee. 10th in our Midwest Regional, Tommy Rice. Wearing bib 79, a junior from Grand Haven, Michigan. He ran 4:07 for 1,600. He's run 8:59 for 3,200 as just a sophomore. This fall, he placed second in the Michigan Division I State Championships, 9th in the Midwest Regional, Seth Norder. Wearing bib 78, a junior from Chelsea, Michigan. He won his conference and regional meets. Then he dominated the Michigan Division II State Cross Country Championships, won the whole thing by more than 25 seconds over second place. 8th in the Midwest Regional, Connell Alford. Wearing bib number 77, a senior from Rapid City, South Dakota. This fall, he won his second consecutive South Dakota AA Individual State Championship. On the track, he has run 150 for 800, 855 for 3200, and he is a sub 4-minute miler. He has run 359 for the mile distance. He will be a Duck from Oregon next year, 7th in the Midwest Regional, Simeon Birnbaum. Wearing bib 76, a senior from Hilliard, Ohio. Undefeated during the Scholastic Cross Country season. He capped that off by winning the Ohio State Division I Cross Country Championship. He's run 4:09 for 1600 on the track. He was 6th in the Midwest Regional. Connor Ackley. Wearing bib 75, a senior from Allendale, Michigan. He's run 152 for 800 meters, 411 for 16, and 856 for 3200 on the track. This fall, he won the Michigan Division I State Championship in cross country. He's off to Syracuse in the fall, 5th in the Midwest region, Benna Anderson. Wearing bib 74, a junior from Indianapolis, Indiana. He ran 14:57 for 5,000 meters at the Nike Twilight Meet. He placed 3rd in the Illinois State Cross Country Championships. He was 4th in our Midwest Regional, Cameron Todd. Wearing bib 73, a senior from Plymouth, Minnesota. The Minnesota State champion in track at 3,200 meters. In cross country, the Minnesota Gatorade Player of the Year last year, and this year he won the Roy Griak Invitational. He's off to the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill in the fall. 3rd in the region, Noah Brecker. And wearing bib 72, a senior from Carmel, Indiana. He's our top returner from last year. He placed 5th here last year, All-American First Team honors. In track, he was the Indiana State champion at both 16 and 3,200 meters. He's run 153, 404, and 855 on the track. The Indiana State champion in cross country. He's going to be a Buffalo at Colorado next year. Runner-up in the Midwest Regional, Cole Matison. And wearing bib 71, a senior from Thompsonville, Michigan. This is his 2nd year in the Nationals. He has been the Michigan State cross country champion all 4 years of high school. Last year in track, the state champion at 816. He's run 152, 407, and 855 on the track. Committed to Wake Forest in the fall. He's the winner of the Midwest Regional, Hunter Jones.
All right, everybody, our West region, under the direction of Doug Todd and their captain, Sarah Slattery. Sarah was a Foot Locker finalist. She was a 2-time NCAA champion, a Pan American gold medalist, and last night she joined her husband in the Hall of Fame for Foot Locker and Champs. They've been married for 19 years. They met 25 years ago. That's Sarah Slattery.
All right, the final 10 boys to set up our championship field of 40. From the West, wearing bib number 90, a senior from Kaysville, Utah. He won the regional championships, placed 2nd in the divisionals, and went on to capture 4th place in the Utah 6A state championships, 10th in the West Regional. This is Spencer Bradshaw. Wearing bib 89, a senior from Draper, Utah. He was 3rd in his regionals and went on to capture 9th place in the Utah AA state championships. He finished 9th in that West Regional, Jeffrey Lewis. Wearing bib 88, a sophomore from Danville, California. One of only 3 sophomore boys to make it here to Nationals this year. He's shown steady improvement throughout the season. Placed 9th in the Division II California State Meet. Ran a great race last week. 8th in the West Region, Trey Caldwell. And wearing bib 87, the third of the three sophomores to make it here. He's from Sonora, California. Opened up the year running 14:17 for 3 miles at the Woodbridge Invitational. Then went on to win the Sac Joaquin section title in California and placed third in the California State Meet in Division 4. He was 7th in our West Regional, Broan Holman. Wearing bib 86, a junior from Atascadero, California. In a breakout junior year, he won the Mount Sac Invitational, the San Luis Obispo County Championship, and the California Central Section title before going on to finish third in the California State Meet. He was 6th in our West Regional, Joshua Bell. And wearing bib 85, a senior from Alpine, California. This year he won the San Diego Section Division 5 Cross Country Championship right here on this course at Morley Field. He then went on to defeat a strong field and win the California State Championship in Division 5. 5th in our region, Micah Sanchez. Wearing bib 84, a junior from Meridian, Idaho. He not only won the Idaho Individual 5A State Championship in cross country this year, but he also led his Rocky Mountain High School team to the state title. His winning time of 14:38 was the fastest time of all divisional winners that year. He placed 4th in the West Regional, Landon Heemeyer. Wearing bib 83, a junior from Palo Alto, California. He's run 4:14 for 1,600, 9:08 for 3,200 meters on the track. Did that as just a sophomore. In cross country, the California Central Coast champion. 3rd in the West Regional, Grant Morgenfeld. And wearing bib 82, a senior from San Luis Obispo, California. He ran 8:57.19 last year on the track for 3,200. This year he placed 4th in the California Division 1 State Cross Country Championships. In the West Regional, he was 10th place with about 800 meters to go. He unleashed an incredible kick to move all the way up to capture 2nd place in the region, Milo Skapinski. And finally, our last competitor wearing bib 81, a senior from Bountiful, Utah. In track last year, he ran 9:11 to win the Davis Invitational. In cross country, he won the Utah Pre-State Meet and the Region 5 Championship. He ran a great last mile in the West last week, pull away from the pack to win the individual Western Regional Championship, Samuel Hansen.
And we are just moments away from our second Champs Sports Cross Country National Championship. The guys making their way to the starting line for what we anticipated to be another all-out sprint to the finish. This 5,000 meters here is going to be an intense competition, mainly between some of the senior guys, as we've been hearing from Tim over the years. We do have a few of the underclassmen here hoping to make a name for themselves under this huge spotlight.
Yeah, the odds favor the experience, and the odds favor the seniors, and we've got a good group. So a young sophomore, freshman, or young sophomore or junior, maybe not feeling the pressure. Maybe they go and they hang, and we get a surprise. But I'm willing to bet Carrie's salary that it's going to be a senior boy.
Well, I definitely think having the experience of being here and seeing this course, whether you are an athlete that's raced here in your, during your state season, like the California kids, or if you've been here before. And, we have 3 guys that have run this course that are coming back from last year. And Cole Mattison is the guy that was our top finisher last year. So I think that experience in itself is sort of an extra card under your cap.
Like we said a little bit earlier, though, Stephen, I think that girls' race has really got them pumped up. This is going to be a fast race. I hope we don't see a tactical race that's just a fan. I don't think that's possible. Too much testosterone out there to go slow.
We have the green light. We are going to send it downstairs to the starting line.
Here we go, the 2022 Champs Sports Cross Country National Championship race. All right, Midwest boys going right. They have so much speed. 150, 152, 154, 359 milers. They have so much speed that they can handle it. And look at that, right to the front. Look at that lime green, all permeated right to the front of that group. That looks like Rocky Hansen going right out hard. So I guess just like Zariel, they decided this is the time to go. That's Hunter Jones, Hunter Jones out front.
Well, you talked about speed. I mean, he has a great range, too. He's a 51-second quarter miler, 152 800-meter runner, 407 1600, 855 32. But this is something that we see quite often, no matter if you are trying to get out, like if that's your strategy to get out or not, just getting off the line. It's almost a little bit more relaxing if you can get out and get clean, not get tripped up. You know, there was some jostling going on right in front of us. So they're out now, and he can calm down a little bit.
Calm down may not be quite the right word. My goodness, I don't remember a boys' race that was this loaded, that somebody took off this fast and opened this much of a lead within 500 meters into the race. If you take the first two Midwest boys there, that's a 20, 25-meter gap already.
He is out fast, but he's going to have to realize that that group's going to come back up on him, and he'll just have to regroup. Now, this is something we talked about earlier in the show. These athletes aren't used to having a lot of bodies around them and people breathing down their neck. And so a lot of times you get out and you think, oh, this is normal. But we're out even faster here because we have the country's best behind us.
Well, you're a big fan of Cole Mathiasen. They're running in second there. So what's his strategy right now? He sees that Hunter's going out fast. He wants to not go out too fast, but he can't give him too much distance. What's his plan?
I like to hunt a lot of times rather than be the hunted. So I think he's just keeping his eyes on him. Hopefully not thinking too much right now and just trying to relax, catch his breath. You know, this is something that a lot of us athletes, we have to sort of calm our body down along with our mind. We don't want to be thinking too much at this stage. We want to just let the race sort of unfold. And so, we can already see it's starting to get back into a group. You know, they're pulling him back in, and you know, we're way too far or way too early in this race to really think that it's already been won.
We have a very quick first 8. Hunter Jones, 2:14 at 800 meters. 2:14. So he's certainly on the way if we're going to get a sub-15. That's certainly it. Mathiasen, 2:16. Rocky Hansen right behind him from the south, also at 2:16. A little bit of a gap to Sam Burgess, Drew Griffith, and Paul Bergeron of the Northeast, all running together. They came by right at 2:18. Noah Brecker, Antonio Camacho Bucks in there, Connor Ackley, Simeon Birnbaum up there, Micah Sanchez, and Landon Heemeyer of the West right there in the top 12 as they came through, and virtually all the boys under 2:20 for the first 800 meters. And now Mathiasen coming up and taking his turn with the lead there. And just as we say that, Hunter says, no, I'm going to lead the dang thing. There he goes.
Sort of surprising to see Sam Hansen there at the back of the pack. Not sure if we missed something earlier there, but he won the West region.
Yeah, but as Kerry will tell you, he loves to finish strong. Last mile is that's his thing, if you will. And and it's been very fast paced. To be fair, it's been very fast. So to say that anybody is not going out hard enough, they may, maybe it's the wise man. Maybe that's it today.
Well, Sam Hansen said that's his strategy. You know, he's a 5,000-meter runner, and he really hammers the last 2K of a race, last mile of the race, and we saw that at Regions. But this is the thing. Like, this is a race where, I just feel like you need to see your competitors up front. I hope he proves me wrong.
They look good out front, the Midwest. Hunter Jones still pushing Mathiasen right there, and Brecker just a step behind Rocky Hansen. See Sam Burgess up there also. So we're coming up to the first mile. This will be an interesting first mile. You're right. We did slow down a little bit after that 800 as we started to bunch up. But that's a pretty good pack right in the middle there, but they're still 20, 30 meters back. So here we go, heading up the hill for the first time. And we go by the mile. Oh, my gosh, 4:37 for the first mile. So we are moving. So Jones, Mathiasen, Hansen, Burgess, all under 440. Burgess was the fourth guy through at 438. Drew Griffith, 441. And then we went Brecker, Ackley, Birnbaum, Bergeron, and Alford. That's the top 10. Anderson, Ben Anderson moved up well from the 800 to the mile, moved up 6 spots. Heemeyer, Nathan Achu moved up 9 spots from the half mile. He's running in 13th, heading up the hill. And then Camacho Bucks and Micah Sanchez, that's 14th and 15th. So Mathiasen taking a page out of the Kerry Baloga playbook, runs the hill the first time pretty hard. And now with the boys, we'll see who's got the downhill speed, but we've got a good group starting to form.
So many mind games going to this sport. And, you know, Mathiasen's been here before. He was 5th last year, if you didn't hear us. He's our top returner. But, you know, getting up that hill, establishing it, and also showing your strength. Now regrouping. Maybe now letting this race kind of unfold. See what happens behind you. And really pushing on the flats when you get down this hill. Mathiasen looks great. Look at him. He's flailing a little bit on his arms there. But it is such a steep downhill. When you're going at those speeds, it is hard to keep it tight. And he looks good, but you can see how fast he's going.
Well, you can see how fast he's going with those flowing locks behind him. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a perfect indication of the speed downhill.
Well, he opened up, 30 meters on that downhill. That's impressive. So Mathiasen now will come through the halfway point, pushing our pace, and that group chasing him there. Burgess in there, Hansen, Brecker, and Jones all chasing that leader, Cole Mathiasen there.
A lot of Midwest yellow.
They're coming up. There we go. Rocky Hansen trying to move up a bit, trying to get himself into it. We still got, as Kerry, you mentioned wisely, we've got a long way to go, and they've run pretty hard for the first mile and a half. It's not unlikely that we could see someone come out of that pack still in the back to challenge.
Well, Rocky Hansen in second there. He is a guy that's been undefeated all year. He didn't run last weekend, and so he's fresh. He feels good. He won his region by 9 seconds, so a big win for him there. But having that guy in front of you, like Cole is right now for Rocky, that's such a fun thing to have, to try to hunt him down, sit on him, maybe make a big move to break it open. But having a little bit of fun with the race strategy right now is so important. I think Rocky Hansen is enjoying being right up front where he wants to be, but also having people around him.
All right, Mathiasen, Charlie, but here comes Rocky Hansen. Then Sam Burgess, Hunter Jones, Drew Griffith. That's our top 5. And then Noah Brecker, Simeon Birnbaum continue to move. Nathan Achu has moved up so well from that 800. He's now into the 8th spot. Landon Heemeyer from the west moving up. Then Connor Ackley, and that rounds out our top 10. But this out front now, Mathiasen in that lime green, if you will. And then running right with them, Drew Griffith there trying to stay close there. Rocky Hansen staying with him there. Mathiasen and Hansen running 1-2 down the Dog Park Loop.
Now, not sure if Mathiasen put on a little bit of pressure there when they started to go down this hill into the Dog Park Loop. But Rocky Hansen came up on his shoulder. It was interesting to see a little bit of difference between facial expression right now. Looks like Rocky's working pretty hard. Mathiasen looks easy, but you know, they both look good. I mean, their arm carriage is good. Nobody looks like they're working harder than the other. But this is where it starts to get going. You know you're coming back into the crowd. It's going to get loud. But you also know the last big thing I got to conquer is that hill. So it gets into your mind. But they've been visualizing this. They've been watching the races over and over again. I can't tell you how many times we heard the athletes say they've been studying this race. This race is the #1 highlight of Cole Mathiasen's cross-country career. That's what he said. He loved racing here this past year, and he wanted to come back, and he wants the win, and he looks like he's running that way right now.
Yeah, you mentioned that Rocky looked like he was working pretty hard, but he isn't letting him go either.
He's
right there on him. So they are pulling a bit away. It's possible somebody could come out of that large pack, but boy, that gap is a pretty good one. But we'll see if that hill takes him out. But there's some kids moving up and down in that pack. We're coming up to the 2-mile mark here. Still Cole Mathiasen, the senior from Indiana. Rocky Hansen, senior from North Carolina. They go by the 2 mile. 9:38. All right, 9:38 at 2 miles for Mathiasen and Hansen. Then in We're back just 6 seconds to Drew Griffith, Noah Brecker, Simeon Birnbaum right there. That's our top 5. Sam Burgess. Nathan Atchu continues to move up. He's up to 7th now. And Heemeyer in 8th, Connor Ackley, and then Connell Alford. That's the top 10 as they go through. And we had virtually the entire 28 boys through at 9:58 or faster on a tough first 2 miles. But here we go. On the outside in the right in the green, Mathiasen still makes a little bit of a move, and Hansen going with.
This is where the pack really needs to have eyes up. You know, these little turns that we have on this course, it can kind of separate people. It can look like they're further ahead of you than you want them to be, and so mentally it gets tough, but this is where you have to work the tangents, work the turns, really dive into them, kind of drive yourself around it, just like Mathiasen did right there, and then start to attack. Get on this upper part of the course here, get ready for that big hill, and start to regroup. But the pack has to start closing in right now because the top 2 are making a push for that win.
You know, Rocky just continues to put that pressure on Mathiasen. Mathiasen trying to make another move when they went across the road, and Rocky hanging tough. He may be tired, but he is not letting him go.
If it comes down to a sprint between these two guys at the end, where are we at with that? Mathiasen obviously has those long legs.
That'll be the key. Can Rocky stay close enough on that down? We saw how Mathiasen flew down that downhill. If he flies that downhill again and he gets to the bottom with 20 or 30 meter lead, that's going to be tough for Rocky to come back. But if Rocky can stay close enough, he can close also. So it'll be interesting to see who goes up the hill and then who comes down it fast. Oh, they're pulling away. This is going to be a two-man race here. It looks like our champion is going to come from this dynamic duo, if you will, heading across the track and getting ready to head up the hill for the second time, the big hill as they all call it. And we'll see who can push it here, and they're moving away. So they're both feeling it and both feeling that this could be their championship. They go through at 12:04 there, that basically 2.5 miles into the race there. And here we go up the hill. Mathiasen in the green and Hansen right there in the red, side by side by side. Moving up there in that group, trying to get up there. Samuel Hansen moving up now.
That is
Noah
incredible.
Brecker.
Watching Mathiasen, you know, he is a tall guy. He's really using those short, quick steps. That's what he has to do to get that turnover. On this hill, it's really important to pump your legs. And guess who that is out of the West? The
Samuel
guy,
Hansen.
Sam Hansen, who told me he wanted to start at the back and work his way up, and he sure did.
Calling his shot on that strategy.
In the West
for sure.
Regional, Hansen ran the last 1,200 meters 9 seconds faster than all 2,400 runners who ran in that region. Now, he's going to try it close, but Mathiasen, he's got that downhill speed in his pocket. But, boy, when you make that turn, that 500 can be a challenge moving uphill. But can Samuel Hansen pull up what would be the upset of the year? Hansen has had a great last couple weeks, but in all these conversations, all of us that have been looking at it, Hansen, this is a great race for him. So here we go. Mathiasen down on the downhill, if you will, and Hansen stay close and finish it off and give us a battle. Mathiasen using just like Reed Brown did a few years ago from Texas, just blew the crowd away and moved everybody out and finished that as the champion. Mathiasen on his way to try to do that also. Hansen's trying to move up. Here we go, both Sam and Rocky, but that leads about 30 meters. Can he close it? Heading home, crossing the road now, just about a quarter mile to go. Cole Mathiasen. I'm going to say it right now. Carrie Tollison called it. Carrie said this was the guy. Looks like your favorite is about to win it.
He looks good. He's been pressing hard. You know, you could tell he is going to everything, his arms, his legs, his face, everything. But he put the pressure on from early on, and he's kept it on. This guy used those chalk-beat steps up the hill. He used those long legs to really explode on the downhill. And then when he got off that downhill, he used that left turn to really push. And here he comes, everybody.
Stephen, I did not think we would see somebody by themselves in this boys' race, but here he comes. Cole Mathiasen on his way, just over the top of the hill, 100 meters to a national championship, and he is picking it up. He's going to break 15. Oh my, we're at 14:50. Hansen trying to finish it off for that second spot. But our winner, our national champion, here he comes across the line, Cole Mathiasen. He will be the 2022 Champ Sports National Champion. 14:56. Oh my. Mathiasen, what a great. And then Noah Brecker, 15:07. Samuel Hansen, what a great race, third, 15:07. Simeon Birnbaum moving up. He gets fourth, 15:11. Connor Ackley, fifth, 15:11. Cameron Todd, sixth, 15:13. Sam Burgess, 15:13 and seventh. Landon Heemeyer, 15:14. Ninth, Drew Griffith of the Northeast, 15:14. And Hunter Jones, 10th at 15:21. But Cole Mathiasen, the 2022 Champ Sports Cross Country National Champion, and he does go under 15, 14:56. That was a great, great race.
Tim, you have to give it up for all of these runners, and you see it at the finish line in this guy's race like I cannot remember, with what almost looks like a NASCAR pileup of these guys coming across the line. They have extended every ounce of energy, and they're just trying to fight for every single second. Some of them going for PRs, others trying to beat the guy in front of them, trying to get up into that top spot, that top three, and then the all-important top 10 as well.
It really is. And to give you an idea, again, how fast that race was. So Riley Huff ran a very strong race last year. In fact, he had Olaf Kid-Paula, the local San Diego kid, and he ran 15:11. So that was a good time. But this time right here, that's almost 15 seconds faster what Mathiasen ran today. I don't think there was a weakness anywhere in that race. He matched every race, he matched every move, and then he pushed the pace. You know, Samuel Hansen, a great job. Both of them trying to hang in there and to move up, to stay close as they go through. And then a great finish there from Noah Brecker and Samuel Hansen. Those two, maybe a little wiser at the beginning, finishing strong. Simeon Birnbaum and Connor Ackley, you're right, All-American first team there. So congratulations to Mathiasen, Brecker, Hansen, Birnbaum, and Ackley first team. And then Todd, Burgess, Griffith, and Heemeyer, Jones, All-American second team. Rocky Hansen, Pajak, Etchu, Alford, and Bergeron, All-American third team. And then 16 through 40 are All-American honorable mention. But an exciting race again. Wow.
We are wanting to head down to Carrie. She's been able to catch up with Cole Mathiasen, something nobody else was able to do today, Carrie.
Cole, fifth last year, then you broke the tape this year. You said this is what you wanted to do. Talk about it.
Yeah. You know, it's just a blessing to be out here and toe the line with such great athletes. And, you know, health is something that sometimes I take for granted. And, you know, it was a journey to get here. And I'm thankful for every piece of it. You know, to break that tape, it means the world. And I thank God for all he's done for me this season and my entire life. So, yeah, it feels amazing.
You ran so fast. You really were only in second for like maybe 600 meters. Did you have that in mind that you wanted to lead this race?
I talked to my coach, and you know, he put it simple. Just when you take the lead, and that can be anywhere, just don't give it back. So that was kind of the game plan going in, and it worked out pretty well.
We talk about this family. You know, the Kinney, the Foot Locker, the East Bay, now Champs. This is a pretty special family. Yeah. Does it feel good that you actually are number one today and you are still part of this family no matter what?
Absolutely. I mean, it's, like I said, it's a huge blessing, and, you know, it was really fun throughout the weekend getting to know and talk to all the amazing athletes that have come through this family and gone on to do great things on the world stage. And, you know, it was really fun to get to meet also fellow Buffalo alumni that have done amazing things, and to be going there and spending the next 4 or however many years there is super exciting. I couldn't be more excited.
Oh my goodness. Well, I think Guy has something for you.
Well, we have a little hardware here for you, and after 43 years of being involved in this race, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Everybody, Cole Mathiasen!
If we could, we'd like to have all of the girls, all 40 of our girls, to come up to the start line area where we did introductions. We're going to do our awards ceremony in just a few minutes as we get through interviewing all the boys and enjoying those moments. but we'll have all the girls, and we invite all of you folks to stay, all the fans to stay. We'll do the award ceremony for both the boys and the girls will be first in just a few minutes.
That is the look of a man who is happy. He has been here before. He put it on his to-do list for 2022 to walk away a champion, and that he has done. Congratulations to Cole Matheson out of the Midwest. And from a team perspective, the Midwest was dominant in that race, Tim.
Well, you know what? Doggone it, they sure are. In fact, if that had been a race between the Midwest and the world, the Midwest still would have won. They scored 18 points, the Northeast 61, the West 65. Great showing for them, and the South 87. But you know what? It's one thing to see a winner and to see a race, but to see a winner with that kind of a real gumption, if you will, if I can give you an old guy's word, that was impressive.
Carrie's downstairs with Noah Brecker.
Noah, second place. Noah Brecker out of Minnesota, don't you know? So, Noah, talk about your race. You really closed hard.
Yeah, I mean, I was really just trying to hold on. I know that I can do better if I kick sooner, at a more steady pace. I don't have as much of 800 speed as some other guys here, but, we're working on it, and I'm just amazingly happy with the, way it turned out.
How did that final hill feel? I know everybody talks about the hill, but coming down the hill is pretty tough.
Yeah, it's honestly kind of freaky going down the hill. You're like, oh, the only thing I want to do is not fall and, die. It would be a nasty wipeout.
What does it mean to be out here running, being second here, just being a part of this event?
I mean, just being in this exclusive group of runners, it's honestly really cool just to get to know everybody. They're all amazing people, and being one of them is even, feels really special.
Yeah. Well, congratulations, everybody. This is our runner-up, Noah Brecker.
Wow, Noah Brecker, what a great finish. Just a little bit more on Matthias in here. So that time of 14:56. Let me just give you a little list here, Stephen, of people he ran faster than. So 14:56, Galen Rupp, two-time Olympic medalist, when he ran his best race here, ran 14:57 faster than that. King Edward Cheswick, 17-time NCAA champion, ran 14:59. Lucas Verzbickas, considered one of the greatest cross-country runners, 14:59. Bob Kennedy, 14:59. The list goes on and on. What a great race. Just like with Carrie Beloga moving into the Hall of Fame, if you will, Cole Matthiasen, I think next year our conversation is, can somebody run like Matthiasen did? And the answer is you're going to have to be pretty tough to do it.
Well, he will forever be able to hold that title as Champs cross-country champion. We have actually both of our, look at that. We got a lot of pictures and more to come here as well. I'll tell you what, though, the story of Sam Hansen, that was pretty incredible to watch a guy, and that wasn't very early in the race. I mean, they were established in their positions, and he was coming around, and he was in last place, and he eclipsed everyone but two.
And it's not like this was a local Parks and Recreation or PE class where he just decided to go. This was so he was trailing 39 of the best runners in the country. But talk about confidence. That's huge. He's had a great last couple of weeks. It couldn't be happier for him.
We'll take a quick pause and hear from one of our sponsors.
And it's downhill now to a national championship. Everywhere that I go.
Yo, Pat, it's your turn.
Pat's got a shot.
Good luck, Super
Back live here in sunny San Diego, Balboa Park, the Morley Field 5,000-meter course has just seen some impressive stuff here. Not just from the finishers, Tim, but both the men's and the women's races here today extremely fast.
It's Ron Blaha, one of our folks here, helps to put all this on. Came around and said that might be the fastest last place finish, and we mean that with all due respect. Oh my gosh, so 36 boys were under 16 and 38 of them under 16:03. That's for 5,000 meters with two big hill climbs in it. So I think, Ron, I think you're absolutely right. That was one of the fastest races in mass ever. Everybody in it and everybody fighting. And, we saw at the end those boys, everything they had trying to come across that line. But wow, what a great race.
Carrie, you were down at the finish line, and the exhaustion that we just saw there as they finished.
Yeah.
What was it like being down there?
I mean, it's initial exhaustion, right? The first maybe 30, 40 seconds, and then it's just elation. And there's also some heartbreak. But, you know, heartbreak is almost something that teaches us more about ourselves, I find at times. Like, I had a number of athletes that had gone before me that said you learn more from those races where you didn't perform as well than maybe more so than you did when you won. So I could see a lot of people thinking, but at the same time, they're all really excited and proud of each other, and they're excited for people that had great days. That's what's so cool about our sport, Stephen, is even if you didn't have the day you wanted, okay, we'll internalize that a little bit, but yet you're just pumped for your teammates and your new friends. So there's a lot of high-fiving and hugs and selfies and everything else going on down there.
Well, with the talent out here today, it's not the last time some of them are going to face off against each other.
Oh, no. This is just the start of a lifetime, to be honest. I mean, now you come back as Foot Locker alum, Champs alum. You bring your kids back, and then you're, talking about your kids, and it's just – I know we talk about it maybe ad nauseum, but we are a family, and we're proud of it. So each and every one of these girls and boys that are here today is part of it, and forever we will have that connection.
So we'd like to invite you for the award ceremony, all you folks at the park, and then stay with us on the broadcast so you'll get to see the athletes receive their awards. The awards will be right up front. You can see them setting up there right by where we did the introductions earlier. We'll get you parents. This is the photo you do not want to miss, and we're going to give you that opportunity. So we're going to bring up all our groups, our first All-American, second All-American, third All-American, and our honorable mentions. We'll bring them all up here and get photos of each and every group. And then, of course, our champions. And then as we're doing this, boy, I hope the Champs sports people realize what a great job they did. They should be pretty happy with this event tonight.
I think
It's really
Guy
couldn't have gone better.
When Guy was handing the hardware off, he just was in awe. He was like, look at these athletes. And, you're just so excited to hear that they had such a great time. And, yeah, thanks a lot to Champs for doing
Well,
this.
if there were any nerves before it, now that's come and gone, and they can enjoy themselves. Mom and Dad, who maybe made the trip with them, can enjoy themselves. Finally relax
They're
a little
taking
bit.
a
You're in
big deep
San
breath.
Diego. It's December. Look at this place.
We look like we're just about pretty close. We'll get a thumbs up from Doug Todd, who is the Director of Awards Ceremony Lineup. That's his official title. Emma coming over and hugging Sophia. That's a great group of kids. We really want to thank all of our New Balance athletes that are here. It's the great thing about our sport. The athletes at the world-class level interact with our high school athletes, and that's really wonderful to see.
So what are we handing out down there today, Tim?
So the winner as we mentioned, everybody who qualified, everybody who made it through the top 10 in their region, they will receive a plaque that denotes an All-American status. And 16 through 40th place are All-American honorable mention. And then in addition to that, every athlete will receive a patch for their letterman's jacket or sweater or suitable for framing. And then the top 15 will receive another medal, which is for All-American first, second, and third team. And then that Tiffany plate, we'll give that out a couple more times. We can't stop just giving those things out. It's wonderful.
And, of course, this is on top of all the stuff that they already have. I know that I'm not sure if we've addressed it enough in this broadcast as we have in other ones, but the amount of stuff that they do go home with in the bags and the gear is a fun little side prize.
Oh, you know not to pack very much when you come out here because you will get spoiled. And they've got everything from cute jogging suits to new T-shirts and jackets. And, I mean, seriously, they're standing right next to America's best already. Danny Jones, Corey McGee, Katie Rainsberger, Emma Coburn right there. I mean, that's what it's all about is just being able to – it's fun to get all the gear, but to be able to actually say, hey, Emma, how do you go from being a state champion to being – a world champion? How did you play basketball in the winter and still, be able to run? Or ask Corey McGee how she was in the top 10 as an 8th grader and couldn't run here, but then came back and ran 2 more times. Like, all of these questions are so important, and it's so fun for the athletes to get to ask them.
You know
in
what's kind of
person.
fun is thinking about the fact, and we were talking about it earlier, how this is a sport where people are their careers are going longer and longer. You're staying elite now into your 30s and
40s.
and beyond, right? So maybe for some of our coaches here, they can look down the line and maybe size up their future competition because they're going to be going head-to-head at some point.
Oh, for sure. You're going to run into these athletes many times. And I think even with our professional athletes, you can see that they kept getting better. You know, they went from high school to college where they had room to grow, then as a professional where they had room to grow. And so any coach out there, any parent out there, give your kids places to grow. We don't want them to be superstars just now, but to be able to keep going, because this sport is so much fun. I wish I could run fast again, but that's just not happening. Now it's my daughter and my boy's turn.
So it looks like we are ready to hand out our awards. We need 1 more minute. It looks like we'll take just a moment to thank our outstanding elite New Balance athletes standing right there, the first 4. That is Danny Jones there on the right. Danny, how about a wave there? Thank you, Danny, so much.
Hey,
Corey
Danny.
McGee, our 5-time state champ, along
Give
with
a
Carrie
wave.
Tollison, Katie Rainsberger, part of the NCAA championship team, and Emma Coburn, world champion. You probably don't
Olympic
get tired of hearing
medalist.
that too many times,
Ooh.
huh? So they want to thank them so much for being here, and they're going to hand the awards to our athletes, and we are ready to go. So we'd like to give our awards in inverse order. We'll start going down from the 37th down to 16th, and then we'll make a special for our top 5. So our 37th place today from the Midwest, Sophia Kennedy. In 36th place today from the West, Haley Lowe. And in 35th place today from the West, Ashlyn Leaf. 34th place today from the West, Allura Marco. 33rd today with a time of 18:54, Holly Barker. 32nd today with a time of 18:46, Callie Bracken. 31st today, time of 18:36, Olivia Murray. 30th today with a time of 18:32, Natalie McLean. 29th today, running 18:30, Joanna Lupizo. 28th, she ran 18:26 today, Katie Kopek. 27th today with a time of 18:28, Meg Madison. 26th, running 18:26 today, Allie Bruce. 25th today with a time of 18:18, Thais Raleigh. 24th today with a time of 18:14, Jillian Boucher. 23rd with a time of 18:11, Emma Zawatsky. 22nd, she ran 18:11 today, Katie Klute. 21st today with a time of 18:09, Nicole Humphreys. 20th today, running a time of 18:06, Maddie Gardenier. Running 19th today with a time of 17:58, Gretchen Farley. 18th today, running 17:56, Allison Arnsman. 17th today, running 17:55, Ruth White. 16th today, running 17:52, Angelina Napoleon. And we'd like to add Helen Sachs to that photo here. Helen, injured today, could not run, but earned her All-American honorable mention by placing in the top 10 in region. So let's hear it for Helen Sachs. So we can get that full photo here. Oh my gosh, I think there was our top 16 through 40 All-American honorable mention 2022 Champs Sports Cross Country National Finals. And while we continue to get our girls and awards out, boys, we'd like to have you start making your way up to the awards area. As soon as the girls are done, we'd like to present the boys their awards. So we'd like to congratulate our girls. 2022 Champ Sports All-American Honorable Mention. All right, let's bring up our All-American third team in 15th place today with a time of 17:52 from the Midwest, Sarah Melodic. In 14th, the only freshman in our final this year from La Jolla, California. She ran 17:51, Kiara Daly. In 13th, from the South, 17:48 today, Isabel Kanda de Frankenberg. In 12th, 17:45 from the South, Mary Bonner Dalton. And in 11th, from the Midwest with a time of 17:43, Jessica Jazwinski. All right, let's have a hand for our All-American third team. right, now we'd like to present the 2022 Champ Sports All-American second team. In 10th place today, from the West, running 17:41, Sadie Englehart. In 9th, from the South, running 17:39, Alyssa Sorrow. In 8th place today, running 17:38, from the South, Allie Zeeland. In 7th place, from the Northeast, with a time of 17:37, Leah Stevens. And in 6th place, from the Northeast, with a time of 17:33, Zariel Makia. All right, let us have one more hand for our All-American second team. And now, the top 3 girls in our 2022 Champ Sports National Cross Country Championship. 5 girls. In 5th place today, running a time of 17:21 from the South, Kira O'Shea. In 4th place today, from the South, running 17:13, Abby Faith Cheeseman. And in 3rd place, from the Midwest, running 17:01, Peyton Noe. In 2nd place, from the Northeast, 16:55, Ellie Shea. And the 2022 Champ Sports National Cross Country Champion, 16:49, 8th fastest time ever run on this course, Carrie Beloga. And if our girls will stay right where they are, we're going to bring up our team champions next. As soon as we've taken all these photos, we're going to bring up our team champions. So if you are from the Northeast, don't go anywhere. I don't want to spoil the surprise, but here they are, the top 5 young ladies in the country, our 2022 Champ Sports National Champion, All-American first team. All right, we'd like to bring up our championship team. So in 4th place today was, with 96 points, was the West. In third place with 66 points, the Midwest. In second place with 38 points, the South. And the 2022 Champ Sports National Team Champions, the Northeast, with 32 points. We need all 10 girls from the Northeast to come on up. We have all the boys, please report to the awards table area over there. All of our boys, all 40, please report to the awards area. Okay, girls, looking up here. And we'll present our top 40 also once again for the boys. We'll line them up and we'll have that ceremony in just a moment. There we go. The Northeast girls are team champions.
Tim, what
And
happens
we're
now?
Just about ready for the boys.
What happens now once the ceremony's all over? And
I think that sigh you hear. I feel kids come out at the hotel, then they really. Carrie, you went through this 3 times. I think this is the time where the friendships really develop on. And this
For sure.
Yeah.
I mean, they've already been developing, but tonight's a luau. There might be a little karaoke, some dancing, ice cream. You know, they just can like let loose and breathe a little bit easier and know that today's done.
Then they get up in the next morning and get ready for track.
That's right.
We look like we're about ready to start. Boys, we need you now over there for the award ceremony. So please, all the boys, hustle on over. If you're not over, jog over a little bit. Come on over quickly, boys.
They're good.
If you're around one of the boys with the uniform, just kind of turn them this way and give them a little push. There you go. Here we go. All right, we're coming over in masses now. All right, so we are ready for our boys presentation, our top 40 boys. Kevin Sanchez, he was not able to run today. He earned his spot in the regionals. He hurt his hamstring, was not able to run today, but he is All-American honorable mention. Kevin Sanchez. In what is the fastest mass finish ever, every boy in the race under 16:20 for 5,000 meters of pretty tough hills. So congratulations to all 40 of you the fastest mass race we've ever had. In 39th place today, with a time of 16:19, David Mora. 38th place today, with a time of 16:03, Marcelo Pata. 37th, with a time of 16:02, Antonio Camacho Bucks. 36th place today, with a time of 15:18, Aiden Granados. 35th, with a time of 15:57, Riley Novak. 34th, with a time of 15:51, Jeffrey Lewis. 33rd, with a time of 15:50, TJ Roden. 32nd, with a time of 15:49, Colin Whitaker. 31st, running 15:49, Tam Gavinas. In 30th today, 15:47, Trey Caldwell. 29th, running 15:46, Nathan Lopez. 28th, for the time of 15:45, Angel Sanchez. 27th, with a time of 15:45, Milo Skapinski. 26th, with a time of 15:43, Tommy Rice. In 25th, with a time of 15:40, Micah Sanchez. 24th, he ran 15:38 today, Spencer Bradshaw. 23rd, ran 15:36, Braden Marshall. In 22nd, running 15:35, Brown Holman. In 21st, running 15:34, Brian DeCola. Running 20th place today, running 15:33, Maxwell Harden. 19th today, with a time of 15:31, Joshua Bell. 18th place today, his time 15:28, Grant Morgenfeld. 17th, with a time of 15:28, Benna Anderson. 16th, he ran 15:27, Seth Norder. This is our 2022 Champs Sports All-American Honorable Mention. All right, let's have one more hand for our All-American Honorable Mention team. Thank you, boys. Have you move to the right, and we'll bring on our 11 through 15. Congratulations, young men. Here we go. In 15th of us today, from the Northeast, ran 15:26, Paul Bergeron. In 14th place today, from the Midwest, with a time of 15:29, Connell Alford. In 13th place today, he ran 15:23, Nathan Achu. In 12th place today, from the Northeast, running 15:22, Ryan Pajak. And in 11th today, running 15:22 from the South, Rocky Hansen. Our 2022 Champs Sports National Championship All-American third team. All right, thank you, boys. We'll have our third team All-American boys move off to the right. And let us bring up the top 10. In 10th place today, from the Midwest, running 15:21, Hunter Jones. In 9th place, from the West, running 15:14, Landon Heemeyer. In 8th place, from the Northeast, with a time of 15:14, Drew Griffith. In 7th place today, from the Northeast, running 15:13, Sam Burgess. And in 6th place today, from the Midwest, running 15:13, Cameron Todd. All right, let's have one more hand for our All-American second team. And boys, we'll have you move off to the right there. And now, our top 5 boys. In 5th place today, with a time of 15:11, from the Midwest, Connor Ackley. In 4th place today, from the Midwest, with a time of 15:11, Simeon Birnbaum. In 3rd place today, from the West, with a time of 15:07, Samuel Hansen. And our 2022 runner-up with a time of 15:07 from the Midwest, Noah Brecker. And now, the 2022 Champs Sports National Cross Country Champion, running the fastest time in the last 13 years on this course, 14:56, Cole Matthias. All 5 boys ran faster than last year's national champion in this race, all 5. And Matthias's time of 14:56 puts him there as the fastest time since 2000. My gosh, it's 2007. And then we will have the team award ceremony, which the Midwest usually just refers to as their activity. And in our team competition, in fourth place today with 87 points, the South. In third place today with 65 points, the West. In second place today with 61 points, the Northeast. And our team champions going 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6. 18 points, the Midwest. Let's have all the boys from the Midwest come on up. To check on our team scoring. Ron Blaha, our historian, will give us how close that is to the all-time record for team score.
So one final congratulations to all of our competitors here today. Based on what we saw here today, I'd say the future of American long and middle distance racing is in pretty good hands.
It was, that's two elite races. I don't know if we remember having boys and girls, both of them that fast. So conditions were great, kids were great competition. But I think what you really saw is people not afraid to take it out today. That was what was really the key. And maybe that's a future that we look at where they go, you know, you just got to go. It's a tough hill, yeah, but you got to go. You got to give it a shot. You know, it's a great race.
They all told us that they all like to win, but they all like to compete. And obviously there was only one winner that crossed the line for both the girls and the boys today, but they're all winners here. And thanks to all the parents and coaches for all the hard work. We tell these kids all the time to thank you as well, but we know it's a group effort.
Yeah, one more thing that we could thank, as you see the folks that are already pulling up stakes, and they did a magnificent job. This venue is wonderful. So thanks to Mike Cummings and all the staff. They're mostly all local San Diego coaches that have supported this event for all 4 decades plus. We want to thank them. Boy, it just looks beautiful, and it was a great course. San Diego was also a star today.
There is so much that goes on behind the scenes here to make this race happen year after year, and just so proud to be part of it. Good to hang out with you guys here. The holidays wouldn't be the same. We can't get to Christmas and the rest of it without having what is now the Champ Sports Cross Country National Championships. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next year.